worked with many schmoes over the years. They're my sidekicks and friends, so I adore them. All the schmoes of the world unite. Joker's here, and he's glad he is.
Live from Collider Studios in Burbank, California, home of the best yard house in the world, it's the Schmoes Know Show. Tonight, Ken delivers news for once. Blake Freeman and Stanton in studio and a look at Stephen King movies. Plus, Chris Hartwell has a beard. And now, here's your hosts, Mark Ellis, Mark Riley, Ken Knapsack, and Grace Hancock.
Welcome, one and all, to the Schmoes Know Live Show.
Yeah.
Woo! What a day, what an evening, what a show we have planned for you guys. You can hear our studio audiences going crazy because this might be the most action-packed show that we've done in a long time. And I am thrilled to be joined by my longtime friend and sometimes writing partner on the Movie Talk show notes anyway, Mr. Mark Riley. So happy to see you. And then over here we have the incredibly talented Miss Grace Hancock, mother of rats.
Yeah, that's me, mother of rats. Thank
mother
you. Hello.
of Rat, also known as Adelaide, your beloved pup.
Yeah.
Can you call her a puppy? Is she?
Oh, she's a forever puppy. She's like 3 pounds.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking.
On a fat day.
Yeah,
That's puppy weight. That's definitely puppy weight.
We're not here to fat shame dogs that weigh over 3 pounds. We're not here to do that, Ken. I mean, I think if there's one thing we know is that we're equal opportunity when it comes to the size of an animal that is allowed here in the studio.
That's very valid.
Particularly when it comes to a tiny little chihuahua.
Yeah.
She's a tiny one.
Chihuahua.
Anytime you mention the term rat or Adelaide or Grace's dog within earshot, her voice goes up like 3 octaves.
Rat. It's actually called a cheweener.
It's
wiener.
Oh, it's not a...
No, but that's actually a real thing, because that would be a chihuahua and a wiener dog mix, which she's not. But it's just cuter to say.
I thought it was a wiener wawa.
Over there.
That works. That works.
You can leave.
Coming in hot on the couch.
Josh
Thank you, guys.
Macuga, and
Appreciate
then over at the Instagram model chair, the person who founded the Instagram model chair is the one, the only Mr. RB3.
Look at that, man.
Yeah.
Talking about beards.
The third. We do have some cast and crew missing tonight. Christian Harloff is not able to be here. He is on assignment seeing The Dark Tower.
Ooh.
Starring Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey. Hey, we are going to have a positive outlook on The Dark Tower until I hear otherwise.
Mark,
Crossing
you just
fingers.
did something totally unintentional. You had Matthew McConaughey. Hey, we're gonna be positive about The Dark Tower, and you didn't even know you did it, and it was perfect.
It was perfect.
This might be the best celebrity incorporation into a phrase since the Ruth Nega's Rutabagas.
Thank you. It'll be
actually
on
got that.
sale at most Kroger outlets as well as Whole Foods and Trader Joe's starting this fall. Ruth Nega's Rutabagas, the first all-celebrity organic rutabaga farm.
Okay, let's be honest.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I approve. That you have that pitch down. That
pitch
thing
is great.
That was
That
really
thing
solid.
took over Comic-Con.
There is nothing wrong with the pitch, but if you guys haven't seen the vid, Josh Macuga actually asked that in Hall H in front of 6,000 people to the panel that was presenting Preacher, and so all of the cast and crew were up there, and they heard this pitch, and it felt like an episode of Shark Tank where you're rooting for your buddy and you want him to succeed. It got a laugh in the room. It got a laugh in the room.
Yeah.
Ken, on stage, I don't know that it got the response that's going to necessitate funding.
No. But you had an interaction. It wasn't a moment. It wasn't like crazy guy, get out of here. And like I was there the first time he said, I got an idea. Now, at the time I was the head writer. I've since been fired from that position. And it's well documented that I hate puns.
Yes.
And he's like, Ruth Negas, Rutabagas. I was like, we made a huge mistake hiring Josh Macuga. So to see from that moment.
Well, the funny
that,
part was
How
I
far
woke
you've
up
come.
after a night of drinking, and the first thing I texted Mark Riley and Ken Knapsack, writers at
Yeah.
Collider, I said, Ruth Nega's Rutabagas, is there a sketch there? And they both said, go back to bed.
I think that was the actual thing I typed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just some of the frivolity we have in store for you guys. We're very excited to welcome a bevy of special guests. Our old friend Jared Habon is going to be back from The Bachelor. You guys know him. He's going to be here at the 7 o'clock hour talking about movies. We're going to get into some Stephen King classics, some of our all-time favorite Stephen King movies, some ones that maybe you guys have missed, some ones that involved Nintendo game characters named Zelda. We also have Chris Hartwell is finally back in town, and he's going to be giving us a new preview of Film Negative, talking about Speed Racer coming up. Whoa. And then we have two very special guests coming in at 6:30. This is something that we've been excited about for a while here. Blake Freeman, the director of the new movie All About the Money, is going to be coming in talking about the new film that has a great cast and crew. And his buddy just happens to be a young man named Steven Stanton, who you guys have heard from coast to coast and earshot to earshot all across the globe, doing his incredible array of voices. I am so happy to have Steven Stanton back. He actually blessed Ken Knapsack with a, I think it was a Radis figure.
An apparatus.
That,
Let's start probing that shield.
Okay, don't do impressions.
Pretty good. I mean, that was good.
You know what? I guess if you're going to do Steven's impressions, you should do them before he joins the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
As opposed to afterwards.
Steven knows I do a horrible Admiratus out of love for the character that he voiced. That was my favorite character from Rogue One.
What crazy
May the
part
force
is,
be
though,
with you, Rogue One.
is that Ruth Nega's Rutabagas and Admiral Radis's radishes this fall.
Whoa. See ya. Bye.
He's gone.
I think that's
Just
his
like that.
walk-off.
It's magic.
Wait, is that it?
I can't
that's
tell
all we're
that's
getting?
actually the walk-off for now.
I think it might be.
This is something
I mean, I don't know if
that
we
was
can top
fast.
that. I'll be real.
I think he's gone.
I think that's the one.
No, he's back. He's
No,
coming
he's
back.
back.
He's
Yeah.
coming back. He's coming back.
Oh, no.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
There's,
I mean, it was close. It was close.
there's nothing worse than a fake walk-off, you know? There's nothing worse than Babe Ruth pointing at where he's going to hit the home run, hitting it, getting to first base, and being like, I need a dog and a hooker. I'm done.
Well, I wanted Ken's news, and I can't.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
This
Here we go.
just in.
Action figures incoming.
Is that for Josh? Did
This
he win a
is
prize?
Admiral Radis.
Yeah.
Wait, there is actually a radish right there if you close in on it. Admiral Radis and Ruth Nega
It's a space
together
radish.
It's a space radish.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm upset because it was told to me that was my Radis figure.
Josh is not.
And then we hear Radis's
Not only
radishes,
that.
and all of a sudden I'm out one collectible item. He's going to open that. He's playing with that in his bathtub
No,
later on tonight.
it is signed by Steven Stanton.
Wait a minute.
You got it.
I have one thing signed in my life, right? And it was a check from Applebee's signed by the waitress saying, no, I don't want your phone number. And now I have Steven Stanton on an Admiral Radis.
And it also says, no, you can't have my phone number.
Yeah, I love that the waitress took the time to sign her name to put her John Hancock next to that. Like, no, you cannot have my phone number.
Herbie Hancock.
Here we go. Over there is referencing Tommy Boy is somebody who I don't think gets enough credit around here, and we joke about that from time to time. Of course, I'm talking about the one, the only, kind of our right hand man here at the studio. Beardo is sitting right over there. He's just here working day in and day out. Right behind Beardo is Cody Hall, the birthday boy. Everybody, he had a birthday
7 years old today.
Yeah. That's right. Waiting for those hairs on his chinny chin to grow in any minute now. We also have Ace over there, ladies and gentlemen. There's Ace popping in there, and then we have Copster. So anyway, no, Copster, you've been an amazing contributor.
Yeah.
Today in particular, because people have been running around. I've been in and out of the office. You did a great job. So what I'm going to offer you right now, before we get into like the giveaways and all the stuff that we're giving out to the kiddies out there, because we do have some cool stuff in store for y'all tonight, is whatever you want me to plug about you, or you want me to say something nice about you and let everybody know. This minute is yours. Whatever
all me.
you need. You can do whatever. You can monologue for a minute.
Oh,
you can
no.
you can involve
Nobody wants
Ken or
that.
Grace or Riley. You can do whatever you want. So this minute is yours.
Whoa.
You've
Okay.
earned it.
I won't take a whole minute. I want to plug the latest episode of Don't Be a Beardo. I'm going to plug the latest episode of The Wanger Show.
Yeah.
It was actually a lot of fun. I really love doing the show. If anybody wants to check it out, we literally just spitball. It's a conversation. It's just a couple dudes talk about stuff all day long.
As opposed to this professionally run program.
Yeah, as opposed to that. But it's fun. You kind of find out why we're all angry at each other at Comic-Con and why we didn't record an episode of The Wanger Show at Comic-Con.
Somebody didn't show up, right? They went to a party.
Yeah, Yeah, it was. No, whoa, Riley.
Is that what happened?
No, it was more
I saw a
detailed than
tweet
that.
exchange. It was very entertaining.
Yeah, and then someone killed that chain. So, but
deleted it?
no,
Got rid
never
of
mind.
it?
Nothing.
Okay.
But that's it. Check out the Wanger Show and check out Don't Be a Beardo. He's fine.
Okay, well, that was a really nice plug.
It's like real wangers of Burbank over here. I'll watch that.
Hey! Josh, can we get that working? The real wangers of Burbank?
I'm on it.
If you didn't see the show last week, Grace, they all had varsity jackets on.
So
Oh, I
cool.
saw.
From our friends at Rode here,
Good
who provided
friends.
these new microphones that we're still getting used to.
I love it.
You're so pretty.
I think they're great. I think they fit so well.
I love 'em.
We pet the
like it.
microphones occasionally. That microphone is
As you
probably
should.
twice as big as the dog that you belovedly have at home.
And twice as heavy, probably.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Grace. We're going to do a lot of fun stuff here. Even in the first half hour, we're going to get to the news and we're going to get to all the giveaways. But I wanted to get your insight on this because we've been running around the office all week, and you have a number of duties here at the office in addition to your acting career and a lot of other things you have going on. What would you say is some of the picadillos of some of the people that are here in this room, or maybe not even in this room present, but are known as Schmoes Know crew members? Is there one thing in particular that you can lock down and say, this is what one of the Schmoes does that either perturbs me or maybe something nice that happens in your day when you get to interact with one of us?
I like this question.
Big fan.
Yep, me too.
Big fan.
So like something that somebody does that I'm always like, I love that.
Yeah,
or like,
I think we get one of each. I think that's a fair, and it doesn't have to be. It can be about. Both can be about Ken.
Yeah, one chance of that one.
all right. Okay, I love Copster just never-ending grumpy old man. Like he comes out of the I love it. That's what I'm saying.
Your minute is officially over.
Because we don't have to talk, and he'll just come out, and he's just like looking at me, and he's like, and I'm like, I know.
It's
The
literally.
funny part,
Yeah.
The funny part though is he always has such like a lovely look of smile on his face.
But
and
you
then
know
all
the
of a
truth in his eyes.
Right behind his eyes is I'm gonna throw somebody down a well like Baby Jessica.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
He's generally. I don't think she. Got
It was
thrown down a well.
1984. It's not
Whoa,
too soon.
87, my friend.
Give it
87.
2 more years,
Twins
Josh.
and Cardinals were in the World Series that
Okay.
year.
I'm going
all
to
right?
challenge that. I thought it was 89 when she fell down the well.
87.
I thought we were talking about me. What's going
Check that out
Sorry.
right now. Let's do it. 87.
back
All
to
right,
Copster.
sorry, I will fact check it. But okay, so that's something that Copster does.
I
that-
love it. I love it. It makes my whole day.
But is that one of the good things you like?
yeah, that was the good one.
My
Okay.
agony,
Well,
my
that-
I love
anxiety,
it.
You're angry.
my
Interesting.
anger,
Yeah.
my depression.
We know it
makes
well.
her happy.
We know it well.
Right.
Okay, so what draws the ire of a Grace Hancock?
I was gonna say because
87 it was.
I absolutely abhor Ken's weird ass fucking obsession with 7-Eleven. I think it is so annoying and I hate it. What? I do.
How
And I
dare
listened to
you?
your episode about it, and I
On the Knapsack
it's
Files
such a weird
podcast
thing to be
feed.
passionate about. Out of all things in the world, it drives
This
me
portion
crazy.
of the Schmoes Know Live Show brought to you by 7-Eleven.
Excuse me. Hold on. I got to take umbrage with this.
Oh, God.
Because you've been hammering against this 7-Eleven idea for a while now. I mean, one day I was like, you want some kombucha? Which is like your favorite drink.
Okay, you're gonna
And
throw that.
I
in
was
my
like, I'm
face.
going to 7-Eleven. And you're like, there's no way that they have that 08. It's right here.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I did. I ate a very small, stale piece of humble pie. They do have kombucha now.
No,
But that's the only
7-Eleven
redeeming quality.
Look, I know how to eat healthy, and 7-Eleven has a lot of healthy things going on there right
Yeah.
now. This
Especially
is,
the eggs.
I got here late, and I had a Carl's Jr. This is a lettuce wrapped, and all I'm going to say about the lettuce wrapped experience with a burger is that the fast food chains don't quite have it down to the science
No,
yet.
it's disgusting.
I
it
think
looks
that
awful.
when you go to a drive-through at like a Carl's Jr. and they hear you want the lettuce wrap version, I think that they get excited because like, we don't have to do any work.
Yeah.
We just take a big piece of paper, we throw all the ingredients on there, ball it up, and just throw it in the driver's side window.
I know.
I
They're
think
like, do you
what
want
the-
it in a lettuce wrap? And you're like, but that doesn't help me at all. That just means I need a fork. Like, no.
Yeah, I had to put all this is a salad is what I ordered.
I
Yeah.
think what they see basically is they order the lettuce wrap and they look around the corner and expect to see a dainty woman in a Range Rover, and then they see dude with a backwards Wake Forest hat,
Yeah.
sleeveless Van Halen shirt, and they're like,
And like flip-flops.
is this guy?
yeah, they take a picture and put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's what I do. At
Look at
tennis
this
things.
guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I walk in there looking at me. I'm like, give me some quinoa. We are going to go on to our favorite part of the show. It's not our favorite part of the show, but it's a segment that I would say has been missed. It's a segment I would say has been lacking because somebody didn't really feel like putting in the effort each and every week, and that is going to be the news. So, Ken, all I'm letting you know right now is that the news is on deck. Okay? We're going to do giveaways because we have a lot of cool stuff to give away to the kiddies tonight.
Right.
And then the news is going to happen. And don't worry, when that happens, when we're live on air, I'm going to give you a big introduction. Okay. And I'm going to own it.
Should I have written some news?
That would have.
Nah. Okay.
Do you have anything prepared?
Yeah, I'll do some crazy make-em-ups.
Okay, Cobster. Yeah. Let's do plugs and let's really take our time with this so Ken has all the air he needs to let those new news jokes fly.
Give us some time. So we're giving away 2 movies tonight. The first one, we were giving away 3 copies of The Lovers. The Lovers.
That's about Ken and 7-Eleven.
I don't think that's what that is. I wish it was, but no. And then we're also giving away 3 copies of The Circle. Like a circle. You know what I'm saying?
Tom Hanks.
And how you can win those? We got our. You done, Grace?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Should I go?
No,
wow. There's that Cobster you were talking about.
That's what you wanted.
This is what you
wanted, Grace.
I was saying I like it.
Okay, so then you're enjoying it. So we are giving away 3 copies of The Lovers, and how you can win that. Ellis has a pinned tweet. All you got to do is head on over to his Twitter handle at Mark Ellis Live, retweet that, and we will choose a random winner for there. And then, of course, the live link for this show is on our Twitter at Schmoes Know. Retweet that. We will choose 2 random winners. This is all for The Lovers, and then for all of the Circle giveaways, our good friends at Stardust, we got a couple of reels in of some people giving some reactions. We will choose 3 people from that. So be sure to download that if you want to win some giveaways in the near future.
That's right. That pinned tweet that I have involves me being in the Charlotte Comedy Zone this weekend. I'm there tomorrow night through Saturday doing jokes. You guys can get tickets at markellislive.com. I'm doing the show. I'm finishing this burger at some point, and then I'm on a red-eye to Charlotte. My birthday, North Carolina. Looking forward to seeing all you guys at the Comedy Zone. But you brought up Stardust, and I think it's actually time to go to the first reel so Ken has a little bit more time to write his news.
I think that works.
Now, this is fun, because later on in the show, we're going to be doing an emoji movie reel that they put together for us, and I think it's the most swearing that we've ever had in one of these Stardust things. If you guys don't know what Stardust is, it's an app you can react to movies and TV right there, and you can download on iOS or Android. It's a lot of fun to share with your friends. It's a nice community on there. You can come hang out with us. Cody, let's roll the Atomic Blonde / Girls Trip reel right now. It is hysterical. I was laughing start to finish. It's a 2-hour-long movie, and it actually is worth the entire runtime.
I thought it was great. I fucking loved it. I loved it.
I hadn't laughed that hard in a while. Tiffany Haddish, I already known her from Anna Faris's podcast, but damn, she was killing me.
Tiffany Haddish, I've known her for a long time. She's a bud. This is a star-making performance for her. She steals every scene she's in. I was so happy to watch this movie. It's funny. Y'all should check it out.
They struck a really good balance between, action movie fight choreography and a real sense of realism. I mean, some of this stuff was brutal, and I liked that.
The plot was overly complicated. They didn't play a single Blondie song. I mean, not even Atomic.
Stairway scene, hands down, was the best part of the movie.
It's really, really cool how many female-driven films are being released recently. And they kept doing close-ups on the fake ice cubes. They were, clearly fake, so just knock it off.
Elise was supposed to be a spy and, stoic all the time, but I was like, all you do is drink vodka and look really, I don't know.
I love watching those reels and those reactions. And I think that Grace, it's I wanted to give it to Gail again because Gailed it, as you can find her. That's her handle. She Gailed it. But you're a big fan of Tess with the Atomic Blonde hot take.
Yeah, I think Tess is our winner here. I loved her attitude. She's sassy. I dig it.
Good sassiness on you, Tess. So Tess is our winner. Thank you guys for all the reactions. And I'll tell you this: did anybody else see Girls Trip? Anybody raise your hand?
No. I so want to.
I want to see it. Yeah, we chose Dunkirk instead.
Josh
but we're gonna
McCouga
go do it.
and RB3. You guys both saw Girls Trip.
Yes.
What was y'all's take?
For me, we saw Tiffany. We being the fiance and I were watching Kimmel, and Tiffany Haddish came on.
Yeah,
friend of ours,
our
Mark.
buddy. Yeah,
and she absolutely killed it with the story of her and Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith going to an alligator, like a swamp tour. And so Amanda's like, we have to go see Girls Trip, and she's great on Carmichael's show as well. Tiffany Haddish is. It was hysterical. I loved it. I went in there going I don't know if this is gonna be like a Tyler Perry movie. I'm not gonna like it. It was awesome. It was really, really fun. I dug it. I really dug it. And Nick Mundy has a great cameo in it, too.
That's right. Nice. RB3, I will say this, and this is no hyperbole, that you have Melissa McCarthy's performance in Bridesmaids, Kathryn Hahn in Bad Moms last year, and then Tiffany Haddish in Girls Trip. It's right up there. She was great start to finish. And I really laughed a lot watching the movie, too.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Like all the cast, the chemistry was just hilarious. I actually saw my mom's. And I was like, she was looking forward to that movie like so much. Not a great idea to see that movie with your mother, though. I mean, it's pretty out there.
How did your mom handle the grapefruit scene?
Oh, I mean, she laughed at it. I mean, I was feeling awkward, man. You know,
I would be feeling awkward as well if I had seen the grapefruit scene with my mom. Once you guys see the movie, you know exactly what we're talking about.
Awkward just hearing about it.
Yeah, I mean, a grapefruit. It's got more uses than just edible. So
great.
And after you use it in this particular way, you do not want to eat said grapefruit. Let's move on to the news. Ken Napsog's had enough time. This is a segment we call the news. Yeah,
missed that music.
I'm Ken Napsog, and these are your Schmoes Know headlines brought to you by Collider.com. Remember a couple weeks ago when internet lynch mobs were gathering outside Colin Trevorrow's cabin in an effort to drag him out and make sure he was removed from his job of directing Star Wars Episode 9? Well, it appears, Chavez, that at least Governor Lew Wallace was listening just a bit. As this week, a new writer was brought in to take over the script. So welcome to the Star Wars crazy train, Jack Thorne. He wrote the upcoming Julia Roberts-led picture Wonder and has an extensive resume of BBC programs under his belt. He also wrote the stage play version of the somewhat ill-received Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. He's also so British, his name should probably be Sir Benny-Hill McBeadle III. It's still unclear if this is going to be a polish, a rewrite, or what scientists call a tinkering. But one thing's for sure, we're now 42% less likely to have a scene in which Rey fights Kylo Ren in high heels. Star Wars Episode 9 will hit theaters in May 2019. Jessica Chastain has been rumored to be the villain in the upcoming X-Men picture Dark Phoenix, but the casting had never been confirmed until today. Chastain took to her Instagram feed to post a picture of her pinching co-star James McAvoy with a caption reading, "Hey James McAvoy, real deal. You ready for me up in Montreal? I'm going to make you cry so hard." Calls to 20th Century Fox HR department have gone unanswered. Game of Thrones star Sophie Turner is, of course, playing Jean Grey in the film, and Chastain might be playing the villain trying to take her down. That character is rumored to be Princess Magistrix Lilandra Nirmani of the Shirlar Alien Empire. See, nerds, this is why we got beat up in grade school. The film is currently in production out in Montreal ahead of its November 2018 release. Recently, Kirsten Dunst made waves by disparaging the Spider-Man films that followed the three she was in, saying the movies were simply, quote, milking that cow for money. Ooh, so much shade, said the kid selling me coffee that I'm generationally predisposed to hating. While Andrew Garfield has not yet dared to respond, Tom Holland has, and he said, "I read it and I saw it. You know, she's entitled to her own opinion, and I'm not one to judge at all. I mean, I'm definitely I'm not doing this movie for money. I mean, it's a job I think anyone would do regardless of what you're getting paid for, you know. And all I know is I've had the greatest time on this movie, and I absolutely loved it. But, you know, if she doesn't want to go see it, I don't really care. But, yeah, I don't dislike her in any way for what she said, and she's entitled to her own opinion, so it's all cool." Sick burn, Tom. Sick burn. All right, so he's taking the high road, but Spider-Man Homecoming has crossed $630 million at the worldwide box office, so, you know, bring it on ain't wrong. The Hellboy reboot just added a real cocksucker to the cast. That's right, Al Swearingen himself. Ian McShane has been cast as Professor Trevor Brutenholm, the adoptive father of Hellboy. David Harbour will be put inside his battles with the Stranger Things Demogorgon to, well, probably take on the Demogorgon again as Hellboy. Neil Marshall is set to direct the R-rated retelling of the heartwarming tale of a well-meaning demon. And finally, last week we got the word that Daniel Craig would most likely be back one more, and most likely one last time as James Bond. And we have a possible title and plot. Spoiler alert, I guess. The British tabloid The Mirror claimed this week that the movie would be called Shattered Hand or Shatterhand and involve a blind villain, making this the worst Mad TV sketch in years. The report goes on to say that the plot would be inspired by or based loosely on the 1999 Raymond Benson Bond novel Never Dream of Dying, making this the first Bond film not based on an Ian Fleming novel. All this sounds cool, except that Raymond Benson is denying it. The top Bond fan site is saying all the reports are false, and Daniel Craig still hasn't woken up from his nap that started during the filming of Spectre. So I'm starting to think that 90% of movie news is just made up by one guy sitting in his dark bedroom, located at a duplex on the outskirts of Bakersfield, leaking hot scoops to every news site while sitting in his stained boxers, while his mom pounds on his bedroom door screaming, "You're 45, get a job or I'm going to throw your chicken noodle soup down the drain." Spawn 25, though, will be released in November 2019. I'm Ken Absucker. Those are your Schmoes Know headlines brought to you by Collider.com.
Wow. Rip-roaring news segment. The news is back, ladies and gentlemen. And if Daniel Craig wants to be back as James Bond, as well as Ken Knapsack just got back doing the news, he's got a tall glass of whiskey to fill. Mark Riley, you are known around here as the news guy.
Sure.
Now, actually, I guess Ken's the news guy.
He's the news guy.
Nice one, Mark.
I'll take it.
I also like the news.
Yeah.
You are not the
I
news
listen
guy.
to the news.
You're the small
producer
business
movie
guy.
talk?
You're the I almost called you the rat person. And I'm like, well, no, we can't do that. But see, you don't even take offense to a name like that. Because you hear
I love rats.
and you love.
Well, I heard myself. It was very strict. Oh, it was Copster. Yeah.
Apparently, Copster does the best rat impression.
Well,
of
apparently
anybody.
also of me doing a rat. It's very confusing. It's like fucking Inception.
This is the actual bark that you will hear from Grace's tiny little Chihuahua, Chihuahua, whatever the hell that thing is.
Yeah.
It's 3 pounds of pure rat goodness. This is what it sounds like.
That's what it is.
It's a really good.
It's so accurate.
Accurate one. Mark Riley, you are definitely not the news guy.
No,
but you love news stories and you help us put movie talk together on Collider every day. So
I do that.
Which one of these news stories tickles your fancy before we go to break?
Well, it's Star Wars. I mean, are you surprised?
No.
It's Star Wars. But everybody was. I did get a lot of tweets today where they're like, see, Colin Trevorrow, he sucks. See, and I'm like, okay, pump the brakes. This could be just a simple thing. We talked about on Movie Talk today. Mm-hmm. They do it all the time. They bring in a new writer to just punch it up, to add a little flavor, to punch up those characters. This guy's a character writer. He's doing dramas. He's not in the space fantasy world. He's doing something that I think is punching up the characters. We did lose Carrie Fisher. He might be coming in to kind of massage some things to happen to get it to the finish line. We didn't get a news report that also said Colin Trevorrow is out. So that's a good sign.
That's a really good sign, yeah, because I might be in the minority now, but I'm still rooting for Colin Trevorrow to be directing.
You're not in the minority. I am too.
Because I like Jurassic World. I really like Book of Henry. I know that's a very polarizing movie right now, but
Safety Not Guaranteed is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, the guy can make a good movie, and I think that we will get one with Star Wars Episode 9. But Grace, if you hear that there's a new writer on board, does that tickle your spidey sense in the wrong way, or are you like, this is just par for the course when you have a movie as big as Star Wars, they want to get a lot of hands on deck?
I mean, I would think if it was like having more hands on deck, they would have been in there from the beginning. When it's kind of this far along, it's kind of like
fair point. Yeah,
like they're like send in some band-aids. But you never know. I mean, you just don't know.
Well, you don't know, especially with the secrecy that is Lucasfilm. Ken.
Right.
You and I have tried to break in there multiple times.
Yeah, I heard about that.
We just end up at the Cheddars up north in San Francisco instead.
I don't think they're in this region.
Well, that's why we were looking for it for so long.
Slammies is.
Get your free egg. What do you make of this news, Ken?
I choose to think that this is just a normal kind of bringing in another writer. We Star Wars fans are necessarily used to that. We talked about this before. George Lucas was full control over all 6, even though other writers, obviously Kasdan, Lee Brackett, first draft of Empire Strikes Back. Jonathan Hales, I believe, had part with the prequels, but it was still George's movie. So Star Wars fans, something as normal as this, to us, we're like, oh, this and the reshoots and Rogue One, and I think we're okay. And I love that Lucasfilm is wants to make these movies and get them right. And so if they see hey, we're going to bring in this guy who's got a TV, theater, drama, very different take on what Colin Trevorrow's put out there, let's do it and get in there and focus on the characters. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of going to a Pixar one time and just see how they do their operation. I might or may not have been invited or legally able to be there, but I did get one of their huge cookies. And you go to all these meeting rooms, and Josh, you see all these people sitting around talking about a movie. Pixar's known for having a lot of co-directors on stuff, and it's just a collection. It's like being at a damn Epcot Center display as how adults should get along together, because they're all pitching ideas, and eventually they settle on the best one. And it seems like Lucasfilm might be adopting this model, maybe because they're a little gun-shy for some recent developments that happened with directors on their standalone projects.
Yeah, I feel like the things going on with Star Wars right now, you had a beautiful thing with Force Awakens, and I think a lot of people that were fans of the movie loved it. I think a lot of people that were casual fans of Star Wars kind of thought they were treading unusual waters, right?
Going to throw the rest of my burger at you. Continue.
Sorry. Rogue One, I loved. I thought Rogue One was a step away from the normal Star Wars, everything is beachy keen, where now with the standalones, they're like, we need something that's going to take this to another level. We can't just have the same saga over and over again. And Colin Trevorrow, yes, Safety Not Guaranteed was fine, but it was a small indie movie. Jurassic World was just Jurassic Park. I'm sorry, good movie, but it was Jurassic Park again with more birds attacking more people.
Did you see the box office receipts?
I saw every box office receipt, okay? And I know it was fine. But you are coming into episode 9, which everybody thinks is going to be the wrap-up of this major saga.
Right.
You got to come in hot. You got to come in hot.
Oh, you got to. Now you're just pitching your catchphrase.
Yes, and, Trevorrow.
No.
Daisy. No.
I like
Thanks,
it.
guys. It's
I
been
like
great.
it.
No, that shouldn't be it. That shouldn't be it. No, get back,
Like slow clap.
I think that's real this time. And we're going to have to have Grace, if you could help us out with one of our famous meetings here at Collider Studios. Let's set up a meeting with Josh and just talk to him about maybe different ways he could maybe not exit the show when he's on it. Because he's really gotten used to this
Just got an invitation for a meeting here.
I'll get on that. Yeah, it's all connected to my brain now because that's literally I'm about to lose it.
That's right. So we might be down to Josh McCouga for the rest of the show, and God knows how long. However, we're going to be up one Blake Freeman and Steven Stanton. The movie is all about the money. We're going to be talking to the director and his good buddy, our buddy, Steven Stanton, right after on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. It's the Schmoes Know Live show. I'm going to finish this burger.
Good evening, Schmoeville. Welcome to the very first break of tonight's show. Hope you're all enjoying everything so far. Daddy couldn't be here tonight once again because he's seeing a little movie called The Dark Tower. Do you know that movie is only 90 minutes long? That means it's going to suck. I'm just kidding. I'm going to go in. I don't care, Cody, if it is going to suck because I'm going to go see it anyways and, decide for myself. I'm not going to go in saying this thing's going to suck. How's it going to go? Suck. But in the meantime, until we stop talking about that or anything in general, it's Stephen King night tonight because of The Dark Tower. So a lot of spooky whatnots, Hiya, Georgie. You want a balloon? No, he probably doesn't. Is that how he sounds in the new trailer? I don't know. I haven't seen it. I'm not going to. I'm going to hear his voice for the very first time in the movie theaters. Where am I going with this? Oh, yeah. Listen to some stuff on our SK Plus channel. It's a lot of fun. Subscribe to it. And it's also on our iTunes listeners. And if you're an iTunes-only listener, sup? So enjoy all that. Enjoy yourselves.
Have you heard Spike's Car Radio? It's comedian, actor, writer Spike Ferriston sitting on the porch in Malibu talking with some cool people about cool cars and life in general.
My first guest is Jerry Seinfeld. He's right here. He was all right. Don't try to hug him.
Chris Hartwell.
I could feel everything on the road. I mean, it was basically like unprotected sex for driving.
Jeremy Piven.
You know what? I think you and Jerry are spiritually tied to cars, and I respect it and I love it, but I don't quite get it yet, but I want to get it.
Download new episodes of Spike's Car Radio every Wednesday on the Podcast One app, or save time and subscribe now at Apple Podcasts or at podcastone.com.
Schmoeville, it's your old pal Mark here. There's no other podcast app like the Podcast One app. It's available in the App Store or on Google Play right now. Why do you need it? So you can find out everything you need and want about your favorite shows and get more content for them. You can find articles, social media, episodes, make playlists. It's all there at the Podcast One app. You can comment, connect with other show fans. You can have your own little community on there. It might remind you of a little place called Schmoeville. So share your favorite content, see exclusive behind-the-scenes photos. You can get a 360 video or watch a bunch of shows in virtual reality. There's over 1,000 videos on there right now. It's like you're right there in the studio with your favorite podcasters. It looks so cool. There's so many things you can do, including fun things like rewards for listening and so much more. So make it easy on yourself. Just go to the App Store right now or check out Google Play and get the all-new Podcast One app and tell them your friendly neighborhood schmoes sent you. Schmoeville, I'm going to level with you. I'm not the culinary genius you may think I am. I don't even know how many stars that they give to chefs, but I feel like a master class kitchen expert simply because of my friends over at Blue Apron. Here's what they do. They send you a box that is going to contain everything you need for an awesome, delicious meal. Let's start with affordability. For less than $10 per person per meal, Blue Apron will deliver the seasonal recipes that you want. It comes with the pre-proportioned ingredients. You can make delicious home-cooked meals. They give you that easy-to-use recipe card. It's step-by-step, easy to follow, and every meal can be prepared in 40 minutes or less. This is the way to cook. This is the way to impress your your friends, your family, yourself. Customize your recipes each week based on what your preferences are, or you can let Blue Apron's culinary team surprise you. The best part is the freshness guarantee, because that promises that every ingredient in your delivery is going to arrive ready to cook, or Blue Apron is going to make it right. So right now, you can check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals for free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/schmoes. Hey, that's us. Free shipping, first 3 meals free. Go to blueapron.com/schmoes. You're going to love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron, so do not wait. blueapron.com/schmoes. Blue Apron, it's a better way to cook.
Number 9 is Leaving Las Vegas.
Oh, that's my number 10.
Is it?
Yes.
It's such a brutal movie.
God, I love this film, dude.
Oh, man.
It fought for number 10. Like, the number 10 and number 9 were going up and down the whole time. I had to put it on here, yeah.
It's like walking out of that. You're like, that's a movie that I never need to see again, even though I have.
Yeah.
But it's left an impact. I still remember it vividly. It's like Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
No, and it's great performances. Like, you could...
Cage at his best.
Yeah, you could maybe argue that is Cage's last great performance.
Yeah.
He's been great. He's been good in other movies, but this is his last great performance.
And Elizabeth Shue.
Who
plays the one woman who understands him.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
Yeah.
Your birthday was 2 days ago. Happy belated birthday,
thanks,
man.
guys. Thank you.
I'll text you in real life.
It's okay.
I'll get you some presents. I'll get you like 2 Blu-rays or something.
Oh yeah, you gonna do that?
Yeah, I'll get you like 2
okay.
Blu-rays.
What do you like more?
What'd you get him, Cody? Brian? What'd you get Cody?
I got him a personalized.
He got me some sass, is what he gave me. He's giving me so much sass.
Do you like a personalized text message or a tweet or a Facebook post? How do you prefer your happy birthdays?
I prefer just fucking telling me.
That's what I like.
If I saw you, like you'll be there.
I'll be out of town.
You'll be out of town, so a text is
acceptable. But if you're in the
you want me to call
area,
you?
No, don't
want me to
call me.
fucking FaceTime you?
Like Cody, I just want to say happy birthday.
No,
buddy.
when I
that's all I got. Bye.
Yeah.
When I know them,
yeah.
Like if it's anyone from the Schmoes crew or anything, I'll personally text them.
Yeah.
And
or
then
you
if
text them, you don't say it to their face.
Well, if I don't see them,
don't you see them every day?
Well, no, I'm saying like Tiffany Smith has a birthday. I'll say happy birthday. Like I don't normally see her, but if it's like Ellis or Christian, I'll say happy birthday to their face.
Man, we are back on the Schmoes Know Live show. We've been blessed with all sorts of goodies, ranging from action Star Wars figures signed by that man, Steven Stanton, ladies and gentlemen. Then, I have this.
Yeah.
All About the Money is a bunch of copies brought to us, and this is the director of said film right next to me, Mr. Blake Freeman. First time in Schmoville, my man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Welcome to our humble abode. All About the Money is available now on digital download and VOD. So give us a little synopsis about the movie. I've heard a lot of crazy things about it. I've heard it's got some hangover in there. This is how you were describing it to me, Steven. You get some hangover in there, some Tropic Thunder, had a kid in Vegas one night.
Drinking beer. Yeah, so bad.
You're amongst friends.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, thank you for repping the brand Coors Light.
Yeah, for sure.
They're not an official sponsor of the show. I'm just a huge fan of their product.
Yeah,
so.
me too.
Yeah.
The movie's about 3 guys down on their luck, and my character, I'm one of the leads, me and Eddie Griffin and Casper Van Dien. I convinced the guys to go on vacation, and it's not a vacation. We're going to try to capture a drug lord and win a $25 million bounty. And
Great.
We absolutely have no idea what we're doing. So that's where the movie, I guess, gets all the humor from. And it's I got to say, it's done a lot better than what we all thought.
That's really.
I don't know if that's really a good thing to say about your movie, but but it's funny. Yeah, it's doing. I tell you what, they said we were doing about 1,000% above expectations, which means those were really low expectations.
Well, that's why you're drinking the champagne of beers. I mean,
that's true.
The first thing that really attracted me to the movie when I heard about it was Eddie Griffin's in it, and Eddie Griffin
awesome.
is a guy who is such a charismatic, mercurial actor, and more importantly, comedian is how I know him, because Eddie, I've seen him around the Comedy Store for a long time. Eddie was actually famous back in the early 2000s for doing very long sets when we're trying to go home, but there's also the issue of Eddie Griffin is on stage, and you want to see as much Eddie as possible. So what is it like to work alongside that guy making a movie together?
It's twofold. Like, you get yourself into real trouble because I'm the director, and we are so far off base half the time when we're in the scene, and we were so far off script that they were trying to reel us in. I mean, it was. But
you're the director, so are you reeling yourself in?
No, I mean, you can't. How can you do it with Eddie Griffin? He's awesome. You know? He's just the guy is one of the funniest guys I've ever met. And I tell you what, we really didn't know each other the first 2 days, and the third day, I came in. It was a long day. We go straight to the bar. He's sitting there. And we grabbed a couple of bottles. We went up to the room, and by 3 o'clock in the morning, I think we were crying and holding each other, and we were best friends after that, man.
It was a beautiful story.
Yeah,
Day 3, we grabbed some bottles, and then we cried.
Well, we just talked the whole night, and I got to really get to know Eddie Griffin over the course of the next 30 days after that. It was unbelievable.
That's right.
The
I mean,
fantastic.
I know the challenges that would come with being an actor on a project a little bit. And Grace, I know you can speak to this better than I can, but if your director is also starring in the movie with you, what would that do to your
Oh yeah, I mean, I've always wondered
state?
how that works because it's like, do you just have like your AD helping you during that stuff, and then also it's like, are you directing me while we're acting, and then do you think it's a lot? It's a mind.
I've got a guy, Marvin Wilson, and he's he's my eyes when I'm not looking, and he goes, "You didn't hit it, or you did hit it."
Like, are you looking at it as an actor and a director at the same time when you're acting with him?
Oh yeah,
but are you reacting as the character, but then also like, we gotta move it. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, I'll go run and peek at it, and then go, okay, that's good. But I really trust, him when he tells me. But again, there's twofold to this. There's a scene in the movie where I'm with a Colombian girl, and she spins around, and it's a transsexual. It's not really a girl at all.
That's a shock.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a shock there. She's nude. And
that's a bigger shock.
Yeah.
Depending on
are there grapefruits involved?
So here's the thing. We shot the scene like 12 times, and they said we just didn't get it. We didn't get it. And I look over, and they're all in tears, and they said we got it on the first shot. So, I mean, I was having to do it from this far away. So that's a downfall of actually not seeing it all.
That sounds like a fun crew, though.
It was awesome. They're really fantastic.
Well, see, he believes Marvin when he tells him that because Marvin has a British accent, so it sounds very official.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
you're like, oh, okay,
no,
yeah.
do it again.
He's
Blake,
much more intelligent just because of the accent.
Exactly.
It's almost like when you're a director, you're like a boxer and you have your guard up the whole time. When you're an actor, you have to expose some of your underbelly and be a little vulnerable and actually just not be available to look at what's going on. So you really have to trust the crew more than you would in a normal situation.
Yeah, and listen, it's not glamorous at all making these movies. I mean, even though you're spending $1 million or so, like it's not glamorous when you're running around making movies for this amount of money. And we were not biting off more than we could chew. We were just filming it as if we had a $30 million budget. And we're running around. We filmed at the Scarface Mansion. We were the first movie to do that since the original film. Yeah. That was actually given to me by the guy who owns it. We didn't have to pay for it. It was amazing because we could not have afforded it.
Is there any white powder left on the floor, in any random spots? Could you find any?
I thought you were talking about from our crew, but no,
Or from the current production that was going on there, yeah.
The place was unreal. It was a $40 million, estate, and it was awesome.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
But when you do that, when you make movies for that level, something has to cut. And transitions and B-roll and all of that was where we were lacking. And so for, a whole year, I'm just like, how do we put it together? How do we put it together? How do we put it together? And then it was just like, well, why not have a narrator? And then, well, why would we have a narrator? Like, why, how do we explain why he's trying to tell the story? And then we just said, all right, we're going to say, hey, why am I telling you this story? Because somebody paid me, so shut up. And so that was like the second line. And then it was, I just thought Steven was way out of our realm. I didn't know that he would do it. So it was a lot of begging, but...
there wasn't that much begging.
Describe the begging process.
Minimal begging.
I've known Blake for about 10 years now, so since high school. And so and I read the script, and it's completely outrageous, but it was so fun to do that. The narration is like one of those voice of God characters, the Watcher, you know, he's probably a character drawn by Jack Kirby or something, you know, and so it was one of those things where he's overseeing these people's lives through their whole incredible missed journey that they're doing. So it was funny. It's a very irreverent film, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, the movie-making process, it's never easy, but especially if you're working with something that is a smaller budget, there's got to be a lot of times when you want to cut corners, but you know for your artistic vision, you just can't do it. I mean, guys, making movies, it's not all doing podcasts and drinking Coors Light. There's actually real work involved, but you have some really big names. Danny Trejo is in the movie. What's it like working with Danny? I've been to his taco shop now because they're open all over LA. I've been to his donut place as well. I frequent Trejo's stores, but I've never actually met the man. What is it like to meet that guy for the first time?
Well, he's super nice, but he takes his shirt off, and he's like 74 years old, and he makes everybody feel terrible about themselves. Like, I cried, you know. I was like, please.
That's what you guys were crying about?
Yeah, the guy is. Yeah, that's why we're here crying. Me and Eddie.
Him and Eddie just looking at Danny Trejo headshots.
The abs.
Damn it. He's fantastic. John Grice, you know, Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. So I put John also in another movie I did, my first film, which is, I call it my school film, which is Noobs. But John Grice he's incredible, and he's great in this movie. And you know, it's funny. All of these guys on there, I wrote the movie for them, and I was able to get everybody, which was super cool. So. There wasn't a lot of rewrites or anything, you know, around the characters. I wrote for those guys, so it's really, really awesome.
Now, Steven, I have a question for you about Blake, because I want to bring in the couch crew for this one too, with Mark Rowley and Ken Knapsack. Is Blake how do we put this is he a Dutch guy?
A Dutch guy.
Is he a Dutch Hollywood guy?
Yeah, I guess he falls under that umbrella.
So
yeah,
I had the pleasure of meeting Steven, I guess Blake's manager too, at this past D23, and Ken. I had not met Dutch Hollywood before, but he's a guy. Once you meet him, it's a visceral experience for the first time.
No, Dutch is not my manager. He's like my dad.
Yes.
I've had a lyrical ass whooping or two from Dutch when I've gotten out of line.
Yeah.
He's great.
Dutch is an absolute gem. He's one of the America's finest treasures. I cannot tell you. I missed you guys.
You're speaking out of fear right now.
I absolutely speaking out of fear. I missed you guys at D23 when you guys said Dutch was there and Miss Kathy. I was like, oh my God, I would have driven down right now to go there. It's amazing. Yeah, I do have another. I want a little question for Blake though.
Yeah.
Casper Van Dien's in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm sold right there. I had the chance. Casper is the reason I've had Gator. I had dinner with him in New Orleans one time with the Screen Junkies crew. He is a fantastic character off camera. How was the work? Any crazy stories?
Well, you know, he's never been. To me, Casper's always miscast. You know what I'm saying? He's a funny guy.
He is.
You know him, personally. He's just, you know, he's awesome to be around. He lights up the room and he makes everybody laugh. And I'm like, why have you never been in a comedy? This is his first comedy.
Is it really?
Yeah. So. And he's awesome. I mean, he did a really, really good job. I think he's missing his calling.
Yeah, no,
I would agree with that.
Mark Rowley, that was actually the first time when we got to meet Dutch. We also got to meet, was that the first time you had met Steven? And it's like you meet a guy who is just known for so many great voices, most of them in the Star Wars community. It does something to your soul a little bit.
Oh, it does. I mean, come on.
Something good.
Something's happening right now.
It's I got to meet Steven here at the studio first, but then I met Dutch for the first time at D23, and we just immediately started nerding out on Star Wars, which makes a lot of sense for me, of course.
Well, you know, and there's another person in our group that's also in Blake's film that you guys haven't met, and that is Michael Gregory, who plays the airline pilot. Michael is Lieutenant Hedgecock from RoboCop, the original one. Yeah.
Whoa.
And so there's all kinds of fandom spread out through this this film. Michael's a really funny guy too, and he's one of these guys that plays a lot of. But you know, he's the guy that promises the mayor a Blaupunkt if he gives up the hostages and all this. So yeah, he's got a very funny scene. I won't spoil it because it's one of the funniest scenes in Blake's film.
That's amazing. And then now you guys have known each other for a little bit, though. How did that meeting happen? Was it some sort of like Hollywood industry party, or was it just kind of happenstance?
Yeah, no, I kind of met Blake when he was moving into the neighborhood and stuff like that. So, like I said, known him a long time. As a matter of fact, we were got to go out on location when you guys were filming at the set that takes supposed to be Colombia. You've seen it if you watched Westworld. It's the same. What's that ranch called, Blake? It's got some kind of name to it.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name.
Yeah.
Not
All the buildings
Neverland.
It's called
exactly.
Knott's Berry Farm.
It's
No, but we got
That's the one.
No, that's the one.
watching these guys
114
work.
degrees out there.
No,
I'll tell
it
you
was
that.
very hot. Rick
Yeah, on a
Fitz,
cool
who's
day.
over off to the side, he was out there with us, and we were watching the scenes with Eddie and Blake and John Grice, and it was just hilarious because what I like about the dynamic between Eddie and Blake's very can be very laid back. Gives you that sideways glance. You already know what he's thinking for that. He's very low key, and Eddie is just the exact opposite. They're like a 21st century Abbott and Costello. You know, there's like the one guy who's constantly berating the other for being a moron and getting him into these horrible situations. So, I mean, they work well, and then you throw John into that mix, and him as the character John Waters in this film.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic.
He's insane. And we got to see him running around in his underwear for the whole day, I think, pretty much. We were
I mean,
there.
that's always
So-
a good day when you can make somebody else run around in their underwear, as long as that somebody else is not you.
Yeah.
Because and you guys were here in the studio watching us do our first segment, and Grace, something came up about Girls Trip, where it's a very funny movie, but it may not be the best family film to enjoy when you're watching it with your mom, like RB3 was watching that movie. Is All About the Money something that you can watch with the entire family, or is it going to make you uncomfortable?
Parental approval for sure.
Everyone should be gathered around and watch this because it will be offensive as hell to everyone who watches it.
This right here. This is replacing A Christmas Story as
For
the
sure.
movie that everybody gathers around the fireplace around Christmas time and watches over and over again. Stephen, I know that you're known for a lot of voices in the world of Star Wars, and you did Jedi Council, and you came on. You talked about doing all these different characters that are made famous, and so you have to kind of try to replicate that, but also try to put your personality in there. What's the hardest voice for you to get down? What would you say is the toughest challenge in the world of voiceover?
Oh, you mean just specifically for me? I mean, that's a tough one because usually the whatever the first new thing they've thrown at you that you've never done before is all of a sudden like, oh my God, I got to research this. Especially if you're voice matching somebody. You know, when you're doing something like Roger Ebert for Life Itself, something that has to be, it's not an impression, it's not a caricature, it has to be spot on, which is what most voice match stuff is. In Blake's film, we just kind of created a character that was kind of like he has a sort of an officious sort of tone so that you believe what he's saying. So you're like, okay, what he's saying is the truth about this film. So there we got to play around with it. It could be anything that we came up with. But when you're doing things like voice match, there's a lot of, especially if you're filling in for an actor on a big budget film, and you're working with the director of that film, it has to sound exactly like that person. So those are the ones that always make you break out in a sweat, or the ones you have to really research and do the most,
It's interesting to watch him do it because he's like one of the best in the world, hands down. This guy really is.
And he brings toys.
Yeah, and I go watch other people, or I have them come in, or I see voiceover being done in other shows and stuff that I'm around or working on, and it's just, this guy is awesome, and I see the struggle of other people, and I'm like, that's just second nature to him, You're pretty good, man.
Well,
You're
thank
okay.
you. It took a few years of practice here and there. Oh, we'll do it afterwards.
No, this is what we do on Schmoes. We have friends hang out, and they might be in a hotel room tonight crying until 3 in the morning.
Crying at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, Ken, I know you were blessed with this, and I actually had the pleasure of giving this to you. This is an Admiral Muratis. This is the character that Stephen does in the movie Rogue One. It's autographed by Stephen Stanton. There's a very limited amount of these, and now I've been blessed with one, and I'm overwhelmed. You got one when we went to D23.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so funny how that works. I saw Rogue One not knowing Steven, not a chance to meet him, and I came out of that movie like, that's my favorite Star Wars character. And then somehow next thing you meet the guy, and then it turns out he's just as amazing as Admiral Raddus. And so yeah, it's been a thrill to form a friendship here with one of the best rebels around.
Now, as we close up shop here on this segment, Grace, I have to ask you a question with these people here, because these people, they're making movies, and then they're going from acting in them to actually directing that. You as an actress, do you have a desire? Because I want to know when that impetus starts. Is it like,
I have absolutely no desire to direct.
I've never met a young actor that is like starting out in the business and is like, no, not only do I want to act, I want to direct, I want to do this. They just want to get a job in a commercial.
Yeah. Well, no. But yeah, I mean, producing is attractive to me at some point, but directing, I can't even I directed theater twice, and I was like, why did I ever? No. And I mean, obviously, with film and television, it's very different, but absolutely not.
You directed theater?
I did.
Wow. What productions?
It was a play that I wrote.
You wait a minute. I didn't know any of this.
Hey,
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm just like have a few of my
Secrets revealed tonight.
Is
I know.
Schmoes
the
Know.
name of your play Adelaide?
cut to 8
the
hours. We're in a
Lovely Rat?
hotel room crying.
Was your dog in your play?
She was not.
Was she on set?
She was not.
She was not.
No, it was a thing.
Wow.
No rats allowed.
You can't have the bark. What's that sound like, Copster?
Good job, Beardo.
There you go. Oh, now you're not going to do it. I'm
No,
sorry.
he's not gonna.
You know,
I can't even. It messed me up. He messed me
No,
up.
it was on point.
Messed me up.
Not all professional voiceover artists are as accommodating as Stephen Stanton. Sometimes they do one take, and if the mic wasn't on, they just quit and they give up for the rest of the day. Blake, when did the bug hit you to want to do more than just act? When were you like, oh, I need to be a director in addition to this? I'm the guy that's going to get this vision seen
because
through.
I'm a controlling asshole. So
No,
you have to be if you want
Blake
to
is
direct.
a wunderkind.
You can do it all. Do you have to go to directing school? I really don't know this stuff. Do you have to go to like directing school? Do you have to learn? Do you have to like get a certificate? How are you able to just get
Yeah,
a
that's
crew
it. They just
together?
print something out and you just do it.
It could be like truck driving school where you just go, you train, you get your thing, and now let's start driving stuff across the country.
I mean, honestly, it's, I mean, look, I'm making comedies. I'm not making, an art film where I guess it's really got to pull every single thing out of you. And so I don't know. I think it's just, keeping everybody in line and making sure you get it. And then, going, I know that's funny. I feel that's the one thing that I can do is I could say, all right, that's funny. Let's quit the joke now. Mm-hmm. Stop it. And then edit, cut it the right way and just leave it alone. I think comedy, other directors, and they drag the joke out, and even if it's it's written, on set, I'll just rewrite stuff. Me and Jason Mewes, when we were in Noobs, we were going, man, this just doesn't flow, does it? Screw it. Let's just we're sitting there rewriting it as we were going.
That's fun.
So yeah, and it's I think you got to do that. I don't understand, and I've seen it. I was witness to it. Where somebody says, no, you got to, I want every word just like it is on the page. Well, now you've got robots. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, there's no school. I mean, if there is, somebody tell me. Because
he didn't go to directing school. And he did
He showed me a director's license. I thought it was real.
I don't want to go now because I'd be terrified about how bad I was doing it all.
You can just walk on a movie set. I'm supposed to be here. I'm actually licensed to be here.
He's done comedy. He's done a great documentary that's also very funny. The guy's done a lot of good stuff.
A Journey to Planet Sanity. I debunk aliens, psychics, and all things paranormal. It's really funny.
Oh, I
you
love
should
that.
Check it out. Yeah,
I will watch that.
That one came out in 2014 or 15.
And
what year is it?
It's 70, and he has a
I have that
cameo.
trouble, too.
Leroy has a cameo in All About the Money,
Yeah,
right?
All About the Money. So it's an old man that delivered food to my house in real life.
Really?
I took him on that journey to see if all this stuff was real because it was really like debilitating him. So I brought him back and put him in this movie. But
How funny.
yeah.
It's great, man. I mean, it's got a crazy cast of characters. You can tell the premise is crazy, and they apparently had a nutty time making it. So make sure you guys check out All About the Money. It's available right now on digital download and VOD. And the director and one of the stars is Blake Freeman. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank
I
you.
hope that your Coors Light was as good as the rest of your experience.
Can I
here
have
on the
one
Schmoes
more?
Know. You can have as many as you want, as
You
long
guys
as
are
there's
awesome.
3 for me to take.
Please take them all.
As I go to LAX. And Steven Stanton, do you have anything that you want to mention? Anything you want to plug coming up? Any place the kids can check you out? Or should we all just try to schedule a dinner with Dutch Hollywood?
No, well, that's always good. But yeah, we've got, actually, we just had our premiere last night of Lost in Oz, a new Amazon series that's coming out on August 4th.
Nice.
I play the Scarecrow. And so it's kind of it's faithful to the original Oz books, but it says, what if that all happened in the 21st century instead of when it was written? So it's really well done. The first whole season is going to be available on August 4th.
Friday.
Excuse me. Yes, I guess. wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm with.
That's my
Blake. He doesn't
contribution
know
of,
what
like,
year it
days
is.
of the week.
I don't know what. See, also August 4th, all the episodes of season 1 come out. It's great. It's a great show.
Good, good, good. Well, thank you so much to our special guests, Blake Freeman and Steven Stanton, for joining us here. Thank you guys so much for blessings, Cloville.
Yeah.
Big round of applause in the crowd. And we are going to be right back on the other side of this break. Chris Hartwell's coming in. Jared Haven's coming in. We're talking about some of Stephen King's best work and maybe a couple misfires. We'll see how far we get. And some of your live calls right on the other side of this break. It's the Schmoes Know Live Show.
And welcome to the second break of tonight's show. So far, Schmoville, it's been a fun, packed show. A lot of great things, a lot of great people, a lot of great discussions all around. And you know what? I just want to take the time to really shit on Beardo. I mean, I really just hate him. No, I don't hate him. We just don't really like each other that much. It's that simple. Cody doesn't really like him either. He just tolerates him, you know? Just because he's, like, there. And he messes things up. He's always late. He's got a great smile, though. I'm not going to lie. He's got a pretty damn good smile. And it's kind of annoying how good that smile is because, you know, when he does something right and he smiles and he knows it, and then you know it, and then you're mad and he's laughing, it sucks. But speaking of which, why don't you guys enjoy these next few clips? You're going to hear clips from, you know, the Schmo Now Rundown, After Schmo, all these great, wonderful contents. And Adam is in the room. I'm going to run. Bye-bye. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Did you get a chance to watch Movie Talk Live?
What day specifically?
I mean, Movie Talk Live, where they actually did it in front of a live audience.
Oh, at the Comic-Con. No, I did not watch that.
Okay. Just real quick. If I say they're going to do Movie Talk Live, I want you to grade how you would think that would go. And it's that they've never done it before. I just want you to give a grade on how you think Movie Talk Live would go.
Well, I think that they would be very easily distracted. They would be more jokey. They would be more playing to an audience. So I think the dynamic of the show would be actually a whole lot different. Maybe not nearly as organized. But then again, I could see Dennis Zen cracking the whip in the background, making sure that they got to every story in a timely manner.
Elliot and Ricky Schroeder were once Team Machinima. Navarro and Davey Havoc were once Superhero News. We even had a Team SourceFed at one point. So, folks, brace yourself because internet personalities are like your favorite baristas. There's a great deal of turnover.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense when you're talking about companies such as IGN and Rotten Tomatoes. Now that you think about it, we've had Rotten Tomatoes with Gray and Matt together for 3 years, at least during the Schmodown. So it's kind of a miracle that they ran that long together as talented as Gray and Matt are. So going to IGN, it's going to be very, very interesting if Eric is going to still be a team with Jim in the future, just under a different name, a la Rotten Tomatoes now.
I can get carried away with that.
Same here. I'm just like, okay, I need an outfit for the daytime, nighttime. That's 2 pairs of boxers, 2 pairs of socks, everything. And then like when we get there, like I don't use half the things.
Exactly.
So then like the next time I try to picture, it's like, okay, like I didn't do that, but what if I do need that? Like, what if this is the time where I need that extra pair of socks because it gets wet or something?
Yep.
But it's like it just gets like overwhelming where it's like I just get all this anxiety, like all these thoughts and everything just going through my head, like that what if factor.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. And later, so my friends and I started doing like all the hiking and the camping stuff. Most of it was car based, but then I took a wilderness training class a few years ago, and I started getting into backpacking, which is, you know, you have to take everything you need with you on your back for however many.
Welcome back to the Schmoes Know Live Show. See, Schmoville, what happens is you try producing a show and you tell people, you got a minute left, cool. Got 30 seconds left, nah. And they just want to go to the bathroom. So I'm here with Grace, and we're here.
The only professional.
I'm Christian Harloff.
You're Christian
nice
Harloff,
to see you guys.
today.
Yeah,
Jared
Good to be
Hamon,
back.
what's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man.
Welcome
doing
back.
well. Yeah.
I'm so sorry you had to come back when no one else wanted to
stop that.
I mean, look, I think the only important people are here. So
Absolutely,
Cops, you're the best. Well, this is where I want you to be.
I mean, I try. I think this is the first time I've ever been on this desk.
Are you serious?
How does it
No,
feel?
but I'm just.
I've been at this desk more than you. I don't feel right about that.
You have been more. But that's fine. Nobody wants to see my face. Everyone wants to see that beautiful face.
I love your face.
Oh,
Seriously,
I
I think we
said
all
that
love your
earlier.
face.
Riley, do you?
We
you
got
know,
a giveaway.
We got
here we
to
go.
cut it to the Wanger table.
We got a giveaway.
That's how I do it. So welcome back, Schmoville. We've got Jared Habon. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Habon.
Yep.
Hey, Bon.
Yeah, like hey, Bon.
Hey, Bon.
Yeah, pretty
Mexican
simple.
bread. Nice.
Yeah.
That could be a good pun.
We got
Like, hey,
Grace.
Bon. Hey.
Empty seat. I'm doing great. Mark Riley on the couch over there. How you doing, Mark?
The news guy.
If someone could turn his mic on.
My yeah.
There it
Well
is.
done, Beardo.
And also joining us, Chris Hartwell, ladies and gentlemen. Hey.
That's awesome.
There it is.
I'll talk very loud. There it is. Hey, here we go.
Oh, hi.
Make it happen.
It's you.
Not a big deal.
No biggie.
This guy.
Here it comes.
Oh,
All right.
look at this
Everybody's
champ.
coming back now.
Look, Copster, I just want to say, I heard your warning of 2 minutes, but I learned when I was competing in drunk movie fights is that if I don't take care of that beer break, we got problems. So I had to go.
Understandable.
That's what
Very
happened.
understandable.
I respect your authority. as
No, that's
producer.
fine. It was a shtick.
Oh, shtick. Oh, shtick, huh?
Welcome back to the Schmoes Know Live
Oh,
show.
hey.
Wow.
Good to have
God.
just down at Slavic
Jesus
getting our
Christ.
free egg. You get talking to people, you say hi, you say thank you, you give hugs, and before you know it, you got to take a leak. And Cody Hall tells you got 30 seconds left. And
I literally was staring. I was like, "Why am I alone? Why am I alone? Anyone? Why am I alone?" Nobody cared. Nobody.
I got you, girl.
You would have.
I got
You
you.
would have done it.
Yeah, Copster comes over. It's like, "We got it. We got it."
well, it's very respectful of you guys to hold down the fort while I take care of personal business. Personal, professional. This guy's a friend of the show, a friend of mine. And do we already introduce Jared? We already
did.
Yeah,
Did an
but
excellent
I kind of crushed it.
I'll never turn down an introduction from Mark Ellis.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
Well,
Jared Haben and Chris Hartwell are both here.
At the same time.
Good to have you back, man. What you been up to?
Well, going back to Rhode Island, doing my thing over there. So, doing some bachelor things here and there and doing some other things. Kind of debating making a change in life.
To out here?
Yeah, so to LA. So all my friends are here, all opportunities out here, everything. It's there's really not a lot of opportunities in Rhode Island. Shockingly,
Do not
shockingly as
undersell the closed circuit TV market up there in Rhode Island. And if you're from Rhode Island,
Seth MacFarlane went to school up there.
is he from? Oh yeah, he went to school at
Yeah,
Rhode
it's a
Island.
big thing because Family Guy takes place in Rhode Island.
Is Rhode Island the smallest state, or is Delaware taking that crown? Anybody?
It's Rhode Island.
It's Rhode Island.
It is.
Small state, biggest heart. You know what I mean?
I gotta represent Rhode Island. House words.
That's cute. You know what mine is? Virginia is for lovers.
Ohio is
like
for
that.
lovers.
What is that? That is very incorrect. Ken, you're from California.
I'm from born in the city of Orange, raised in Pismo Beach, as we know. Yeah.
What is the state slogan of California? The Golden Bears?
Yeah, that's exactly
that the
what it
mascot?
is. Yeah, don't cover your picnic baskets is our logo. It's our house words. Yeah.
Grace, you're from Arizona?
Yeah.
What's y'all state slogan?
I don't know. Like,
Turn on the AC.
wear sunscreen. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
we're here now, joined by Jared and Chris, and we're going to be talking about Stephen King movies, are some of our favorites, some of our least favorites, because he's not joining us tonight, so we can kind of talk whatever he wants. And
Heyo.
I'll remind people, Stephen King, not just known, he's the horror guy, but he also has a lot of other great works, and some of the greatest films in recent memory have actually been Stephen King's mind creating all that stuff before it went on to be directed by other people and starring people and not reading it, which I don't really read a lot anymore.
You should.
So we are going to kick off, however, with Chris Hartwell's segment that it's been too long, my man.
Whoa. That's so true. It's so true. Life has been busy. Life is changing. I think this is appropriate that Jared might be moving to California because I am in the process of vacating California, unfortunately.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm heading out to Houston, Texas.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Why?
big change. Yeah, there's a university out there that would like me to teach for them. So I'm gonna
Oh, come on. That's
that license that Blake did not have. I'm going to be actually handing those licenses out to young children.
So you're gonna work at FedEx. Cool.
Exactly.
Oh, bird.
You are going to be teaching. You all of a sudden have become the cool teacher.
I'm gonna try and be. That's the reason for the beard right here. Because
Well,
I think
that's all that a cool teacher needs is facial hair.
Exactly. Yeah. I was thinking about glasses too. About me pushing it too far.
It's too much for young.
I
ladies.
predict that Hartwell is going to be that type of professor in college where some girl's going to have "I love you" written on their eyelids.
yeah.
Blink
really slowly.
while he goes off looking for archaeology finds.
Yeah,
that's what will sneak out the office window right there.
I prognosticate in Hartwell's teaching career a lot of sitting on the desk.
Yes.
You know, because that lets the kids know,
But
hey.
with like the lean, like one leg is further back than the other. We all know the
Yeah, like he's talking about the other, he's not going to name anybody else by name, but he's going to be like, hey, look, guys, I know you get a lot of guff. Okay, I know you got a lot of homework. This class, we're gonna go outside and sit under a tree.
Yeah, he's like, forget what they've taught you. You haven't learned anything until you open your mind.
I'm taking notes right now. This is brilliant stuff, guys.
Just rip up the textbook the day you get there.
Oh, I
go.
Just burn
We're not learning from
And then they'll all be like, "What the hell, man?
I just
that was
paid
like $120."
Are you teaching something in film, or
I am indeed. I'm teaching 4 different classes. I'm very excited about them.
Jesus.
Directing, which is very exciting. Screenwriting, which will be great. Intro to production, basically, you don't know what you want to do in film. I'm going to give you the gambit. And then finally, a class on, Ken, you'll appreciate this, and Mark, a class on George Lucas, which I'm...
Whoa.
You're more than welcome to come
Can
out.
I come guest speak on the Radioland Murders
It's
course?
such a good film, right?
Yeah.
Brian Ben?
Yeah.
Tucker, a man in his dreams.
Yeah.
Come on.
Wow. Okay, so the George Lucas course, what is that? Obviously you start with THX1138, and then you talk about his time in film school and American Graffiti and Star Wars. Do you also, he's not showing up, like Stephen King's not coming tonight, so you can talk about George Lucas's missteps as well as the greatness that he created in Star Wars.
Absolutely. And the great thing about this class is I'm actually co-teaching it with a friend of mine. And as you guys have probably picked up on this show, I'm a bit of a prequel apologist. But my good friend is like, to the nth degree. There's nothing wrong with the prequels, in his opinion, basically. So I'm excited to bring a nice kind of balanced perspective to the class and let the kids know that there's some goodness in there, but there's also some stuff that we can learn from. So,
can I ask you this?
Yeah.
When you tell the kids that, are you going to take a chair and turn it around and then sit in there like this?
I was thinking about doing that right now, but I didn't want to mess up the framing. So.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Jared, Chris just told us the 4 classes he is teaching. You got a directing one, you got a screenwriting, you got a production one, and you got a George Lucas class. Which class are you taking, and which class are you getting the best grade in?
Oh, God, the best grade?
Yep.
I think the best grade I'd get would be either directing or the George Lucas class.
All right, good stuff.
And I think the course I'd want to take most would be directing. I think directing is very I'm fascinated by directing. Like, I'm fascinated by David Fincher.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by him just as a human being, because I think... I wish I was best friends with David Fincher.
No, but we're best friends, which is the second best thing. I love
said Fincher, not you.
Oh, we're best friends. Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry, anytime I talk about David Fincher, I get a little clouded. We're best friends. Don't you worry about it.
Expectations have been dashed.
I know,
initially, she thought he was best friends with David Fincher.
I'm not going to lie. When you said we're best friends, I was like, I'm sorry. Now we're best friends.
Right. No, you guys are actually best friends.
Yeah,
you
we
and
just
Grace.
became it.
It's been a very rocky start.
Yeah.
But you're there.
But we're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a bumpy road in this friendship.
That's how you get this close.
And now you guys have to go to a hotel room and cry at 3 in the morning. That's the next step in this. Now, I also got to ask you this. So do you have the directing bug from like afar? Like you just want to appreciate directing? Or are you actually somebody who you're like, you know what? I think I could take the lessons that old Hartwell taught me. That old man Hartwell taught me.
I think a lot of people who are film buffs thinks that they could direct, right? Because anytime I watch a movie, we're always like, well, I would do that, or I could do that better. And then all of a sudden you get behind the camera and you have to deal with actors and producers and screenwriters.
Awful people, all of them.
Every single one of them.
And it's a little bit more difficult than you would imagine. But directing has always been an interest of mine in terms of just making movies. I'm like, when I went to college, I was a theater major for a little while. And we used to, big nerd. And but I used to, a buddy of mine who actually is in LA now trying to make it directing. He would direct college films, and what he'd always do. I actually once starred in a movie where I was a serial killer.
Oh, what's it called? Looking it up. Looking it up.
It was called Very Dead Things. I doubt it's on IMDb. It was
I'm gonna
for
find
his
it.
thesis paper.
Copster, check it out because I can see Haven is one of these guys, Ken.
I've been told I look like a Superman villain, so which is like the biggest compliment of my life.
I would say you and Hartwell both. You guys are, which is, by the way, I'm glad that one of you guys is leaving California because we can only have so many good-looking people in the state at the same time. That's
Very
all.
true.
You can't bring fruits and beverages in here, and you cannot have too many good-looking people at the same time.
Right.
So
stay out of my 7-Eleven.
I don't think they're. I think they're going to creation with me and Grace.
Ooh, sick burn.
There've been a lot of good sick burns tonight. There's been a lot of good sick burns that have gone unair-horned.
You're see this fucking guy?
That was
See
so
him?
sad.
See him? Yeah.
Wow.
It's too late.
Number 13th rated podcast on the Schmoes Know Network.
Yeah, what happened, Beardo? You were riding high on the hog there.
Speak up.
And
Speak
then,
up, big boy.
And then all of a sudden, your podcast isn't the hottest thing. It's not the new kid on the block anymore, and you're just mailing the sound effects.
Look at that. You know,
I'm letting you guys talk. I'm letting you guys converse.
There was a rumor that Bob Barker died. Turns out you just stole his microphone.
I'm so confused. I'm sweating.
I'm waiting for Ken to be on my podcast. That'll be next.
We have found a path to me being on your podcast. You know it has to happen
Because you want something from me.
Yep, that's how Hollywood works.
You can't just out of the kindness of your heart.
I'm
just
not
do it
going
for
to
me.
propel you to a higher ranking just because of from my time.
When I ask Mark, he says, "Sure, I'll allot 2 hours for you." But
Yeah.
Ken wants something out of the podcast.
Yep, I'm pretty upfront with that, right? I'm like
very professional
yeah.
too, if you ask me.
Real Wingers,
straight
right?
up.
Hollywood is just professional
Give and
open
take?
prostitution. It's all it is.
Is that Hartwell's opening line when you get in front of the
Oh, I'm
kids?
sorry. Wow, Chris had a segment, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
If you guys want. I mean,
No, I heard about the teaching. So, okay, we're going to get into the preview film negative. We're going to talk about his movie in a little bit. But I do want to ask you one more question.
Absolutely.
So if I look at the lesson plan or the, what do you,
syllabus?
Oh, he's a teacher, all
I
right.
just finished 4 of those.
Professor.
So, yeah.
I was
Mr.
right
Hartwell.
there. So,
Professor,
yeah, Mr. Dr. Hartwell.
No, not doctor.
Great air horn, Beardo. Way to step up to play.
I'm Dr. Hartwell. There's no syllabus in my class, just passion. That's all you got.
Continuing to take notes.
Do you, are we looking at like traditional
man.
quizzes and tests and that kind of
You guys are
thing?
great.
For the intro to production class, yes, just because there's a lot of terminology as far as what's a 50mm lens, what's this kind of lens, that kind of
See,
thing.
he's doing it now with like the legs crossed.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. But for the rest of it, and when it comes to creativity and actually allowing people to breathe and actually figure out things on their own, and actually one of the things I appreciate that you just said, Jared, is find your own voice. Quizzes, in my opinion, and my opinion is now the one that counts, kind of constrict that and limit the creativity. So I'm steering clear with those things.
Yeah.
Oh, so no,
I like that.
no scantrons, no multiple choice.
No.
Oh, thank you.
Scantrons. Oh my
Give
god.
a clap. I haven't heard the word scantron
Yeah.
in a very
Long time.
That's how you do it, right there.
Cal's heard it pretty soon.
Cal just heard it.
He's like,
He just
ooh,
woke up.
Scantron.
Cal heard Scantron.
Scantron. I hate Scantron. Look at this.
I don't like it. I hate scantrons.
Yeah, I am fascinated by all of this. So here's what I want you to do, Chris. Is can you tell the name of the university?
Yeah,
again?
Houston Baptist University.
Houston Baptist
If you want to learn
University.
from me, you guys can come. It's cool.
If you go to
HBU?
HBU there,
Really?
then
Nailed it.
here's what's going to happen: is that Chris is when he comes back to Schmoes after his triumphant semester in Houston, he's going to bring the best student and the worst student.
Nice.
And we're going to heckle.
But don't tell them
And
who
I won't
to.
tell who is who. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because it's all about passion. Ken. There are no grades in Mr. Hartwell's class. There's just a lot of love.
That's right.
There's a whole lot of love for a segment that we call Film Negative. And now Chris Hartwell is going to reveal, as I spoiled at the beginning of the show, what the movie we're talking about is. You're going to defend a movie that most people have panned since the years it came out and probably even on the weekend it got released. Which flick are we doing?
Absolutely. We're looking at Speed Racer.
Boo!
Yes.
Sorry.
I believe I have a clip here for the beginning of that, which is pretty excellent. So you want to check that out?
Let's roll that clip.
On July 18th, 2008, the world was gifted with arguably the greatest comic book adaptation of all time, The Dark Knight, a film that went on to garner a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes and over $1 billion at the worldwide box office. That film, however, is not the one that we'll be focusing on here. No, the movie that we'll be discussing came out a mere 2 months earlier, but only scored a 39% on Rotten Tomatoes and made just shy of $100 million worldwide. That film, of course, was the Wachowskis' Speed Racer. But loved by critics and audiences or not, I have no problem declaring Speed Racer to be an absolutely brilliant piece of filmmaking. As different as they are, both Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy as well as the Wachowskis' Speed Racer are similarly daring in their narrative, thematic, and stylistic choices. When this was what people thought a Batman film looked like, giving them this was a risk. And when this was what people thought a Wachowski film looked like, giving them this was also a risk. What makes both films work, however, and why I strongly disagree with critics who wrote that Speed Racer was style over substance, is that each film's style mirrors its substance. The style that we see on screen perfectly reflects the substance in the script's narrative, the story's themes, the characters' souls, and the director's hearts. I feel like it's funny that we're talking about Speed Racer tonight, because I feel like two of the conversation topics that we've been talking about actually apply pretty well to this, in the sense that earlier we were talking about The Last Jedi, episode 9, and the fact that they brought on a new screenwriter, and we're continuing to speculate what does that mean, and kind of the sense that I'm continuing to get with Lucasfilm, and I've always gotten this sense with Marvel. For better and for worse, a lot of these films are by committee. There's a lot of people talking about this is what this film should be, a lot of different opinions weighing in. Speed Racer is almost the opposite end of that spectrum, and I think part of the reason why perhaps the critics didn't like it that much and audiences didn't turn up on opening weekend or the weekends to follow, unfortunately, is because it is so extreme in one direction. It's so vibrant. I think actually Lana Wachowski described it as an assault on established aesthetics. You watch the shots in this film, and it's so different than anything that you've seen, and I think it's understandable that you could see that trailer. And I think Valerian had the same problem too, where people go, well, it doesn't remind me of anything I've seen, so why should I take the time to invest in this if it's going to be just so zany and kooky out there? And I would argue, and as I do in the film negative segment, it's absolutely worth that investment, because like we were talking about with Jared, the director's voice is so clearly on display, and these are two directors who really have a very strong, fun voice. And then the other thing that kind of connects what we're talking about later today is just adaptations, and the fact that this is, I think, an excellent adaptation of a children's animated television show. And they didn't just dump the baby out with the bathwater. These are the directors of the Matrix films, after all, R-rated films, dark, cool, gritty, and it might have made sense for them to take this franchise and go, okay, cool, we're going to take the basic premise, racing, and make the cool R-rated version of this. But they didn't do that. They actually had a pretty kind of faithful adaptation to the source material. Again, that actually felt faithful, and it was actually kind of a close spirit sibling to the original material. And I think for those reasons, the film works surprisingly well.
Mr. Hartwell.
Can we just say that he's going to make a great teacher?
Yes!
I was just lost for the past 30 seconds.
I like movies more after you talk about them.
Yeah, seriously.
And it's not a compliment. It upsets me because you bring in movies that I'm like, I hated that piece of shit. And then we start talking about it, I'm like, damn it, Here's my thing with Speed Racer, and I want to get everybody's thoughts on this real quick, is that Speed Racer, it's kind of like listening to somebody like Steve Vai, like a next level guitar player.
I love Steve Vai.
Do you know Steve Vai?
I love Steve Vai.
Do you really?
I really, really do.
Did he compose the music for your play, or are you being serious?
God, I wish.
Okay, Steve Vai, right? Or Joe Satriani, or somebody like they're so good.
You're speaking my language.
And they play so fast. It's like it's hard to just listen and enjoy it. It's almost like it's like a science project.
Yeah, I don't understand how it happens.
Yeah, I don't get how it works. And that's kind of like Speed Racer, just that assault on the senses. And it's like it's hard to digest all that. Are you picking up on my Satriani comparison, or did you love Speed Racer when you saw it, Grace?
I haven't seen Speed Racer.
Oh, damn it.
Check it out. Check it out.
But you know what? After Professor Hartwell,
no, you failed his class.
I gotta check it out.
that's a big fat F, right, Hartwell?
But I thought it was all about passion.
This is the first day, so she's got time to catch up. It's all
He's
good.
gonna bring me back as the worst student later. Watch.
Look, I think you're gonna be a fine professor. You got to get a backbone in that class, okay? You got to start failing some kids. You got to put the fear of God. You hit them with rulers. I think you're allowed to do that.
In Texas, that's fine.
In a Baptist university?
Oh, sure, yeah.
I think you're allowed to do that. Somebody who has seen Speed Racer. This guy right here, Jared, start talking so I can stop.
I have seen Speed Racer. Actually, I saw Speed Racer about 2 or 3 times in the theater because. Well, here's the thing.
Were you on drugs?
Obviously. So, so here's the thing about Speed Racer. When it came out, what was it? 2007, 2008.
2008.
I was a big Emile Hirsch fan. I saw Emile Hirsch first in Girl Next Door.
Yes.
And then I really liked him in that. And then that's right around the time when a couple years later, Into the Wild came out. And I love Into the Wild.
Yeah, me too.
also Alpha Dog.
Yep.
Alpha Dog is another film that I was a huge fan of Emil Hirsch. And so I was actually really excited about Speed Racer because I love the Wachowski brothers as well because I'm a huge Matrix fan. And so Speed Racer for me was a mixed bag. I think there was a lot of qualities that I enjoyed about it, and there was a lot of things I didn't like. I think there were a lot of moments in the movie I really enjoyed between Emil Hirsch and Susan Sarandon. Yeah. And I thought John Goodman was pretty good, and I also thought Matthew Fox was really good in the movie too. And I think he's an underrated quality in that movie because I thought he brought some like levity to it because there is a lot of over-the-top action, a lot of CGI, and you can get lost in it. There's so many colors, and you don't know what's going on. I don't like that style of directing because it's just you can't really follow the action. It's just too chaotic. Yeah. And so I thought, so that I had issues with that, but I thought there was a lot of qualities that I enjoyed. Some of the, I see where you're going with. It's a faithful adaptation of the anime. Having said that, I also don't think a faithful adaptation of source material equals a good movie.
No, I completely agree. No, I absolutely
sick burn, bro.
Where's the air hole?
God, please don't fail me.
No, I completely agree, and I think I apologize out there if people like the first Harry Potter film the best. In my opinion, it's the least of the Harry Potter films because it's too faithful. It feels almost like a page-for-page recreation, and that transcription. You have to look at what makes it cinematic, so I agree with you, Jared. And I think just in this instance, the things that they maintained from the anime to the live action were the cinematic elements and the cinematic pieces, and so that's why I felt like it actually worked in this instance. But
Riley, when you saw Speed Racer, were you more excitable afterwards, like Adelaide, or were you more like Cal is currently?
I think this was me during the movie.
We can't
Sorry, I can't share the opinion. I thought it was an assault on my senses in a bad way.
Right.
I couldn't follow the story very well, and I thought it was a huge misstep for two directors that I really enjoyed and their work.
Okay, Chris, I got to warn you, you're going to have a guy like this in every one of your classes where they think it's their class.
It happens.
Like this is the one guy that when you raise his hand, he's not just going to sit, he's going to stand up. To make his statement.
Probably on his desk, a la the Dead Poets Society. Probably.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's going to challenge you. He's the guy, and nobody else in the class is going to like this guy either because we came to learn from you,
he's going to make
from
the class longer. We'll be like, sit the fuck
Exactly.
down.
He's going to be the one guy like 2 minutes before class ends. Okay, any last questions? And he'll raise his hand.
Right.
That's right. So, Ken, what kind of student are you going to be in Chris's Speed Racer class?
Ooh, I'm a simple man. All right, you guys know this. All right. Last night I took my girlfriend to dinner at IKEA. All right, that's what I do.
You have a girlfriend?
And in regards to Joe Satriani and Kenny Wayne Shepherd and Steve Vai, give me 3 quarters and the truth, man. So I don't need this assault on the senses. I love Professor Hartwell. I think he's going to do well, and I believe him. Anything he says, I'm going to be willing to give a second chance because the conviction and intelligence behind his words. But I wouldn't watch Speed Racer for all the 7-Eleven sandwiches in the world.
Well,
I'm saying something right there.
I'm glad that when you take the lady out for a nice evening, you upgrade from 7-Eleven to the Swedish meatballs that you will find at IKEA for $6.99.
One step at a time.
That's right. 2 plates, $17.
Wow. That is very impressive.
Figured it out.
I do want to throw it over to another movie that is not getting the best reviews right now, maybe suffering from some of what Speed Racer got as far as a tongue lashing from the critics and audiences alike. This is a really fun reel that Stardust put together for us because they had a lot of reactions coming from our fans from Schmoville who've been using the Stardust app, and they saw the Emoji Movie. And it didn't work out great for the Emoji Movie if you're looking for smiley faces. You're more getting poops. You're more getting frowny faces. You're more getting... There isn't really a fart emoji. Why do you have that look on your face like I don't know who did it?
No, because I know you hate fart noises so much. I just couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
I don't hate fart noises.
Oh, okay.
I love fart noises. I like properly timed fart noises, which seems lost on the majority of the crew. I like a well-done fart joke.
That is a wet one.
Wow.
Okay.
The show's reached an all-time high.
Low-hanging fruit. Heard the term?
Even Cal's like, I have standards.
Cal just gave up.
And Cal literally turned the other way.
We are going from the bathroom humor of that to the potty mouth fans that saw the Emoji Movie. Let's roll the Stardust reel right now.
I don't know if there are words to express.
It is shit. It is crap.
I've been thinking about the Emoji Movie more and more. And, Yeah, it's still a dick.
I understand the flack this movie's been getting. Like, it's not a great movie by any standard, but it's basically like a discounted Wreck-It Ralph's.
Fuck this movie. This movie sucks. It's the poop emoji itself. You're shit. Fuck you, Emoji Movie. Fuck you.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It had some moments.
Everything about this film is shitty, shitty, shitty.
Treated its audience like they were newborns. I mean, heck, they're disrespecting the kids with this movie.
Nobody forced you to see it. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I was going to do this at the movie theater, but fuck it. That movie sucks.
Well, it seems like the fans have spoken in unison. That was one of the more entertaining reels that we could possibly have.
Pretty good.
I need to put it to the table here because this is really too close to call here between Kev watched a film who actually made himself into the turd emoji.
Right.
Which takes some talent, that takes some artistry.
Right.
But then you also have real Mr. Robinson, who is so upset that he just like flung himself around the room. Jared, these are very visceral reactions to the Emoji Movie. Did people get too excited about this?
I don't think so.
Yes.
You think they got too excited for
Well,
it?
too excited for the film.
No,
That's why
for
they
the
were
movie,
let
yeah.
down.
Oh, too excited for the movie. I thought you
Yeah.
got too excited for the Stardust.
High
I was like,
expectations.
Oh, yeah. How can you have high expectations for the Emoji Movie?
Precisely what I said, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a movie about poop emojis and hard eye emojis.
And there's no redheaded emojis at
Which
all.
is bullshit. Just
There's
awful.
literally an emoji for like a fucking pyramid with a fish on it. Like there's literally an emoji for anything you can think of.
If I had a nickel
There's
every
no
time I sent
redhead.
that. Yeah.
You can
It's
be like
unacceptable.
there's like 3 shades of brunette, like 3 shades of blonde. You could be any skin tone. Oh no.
Let's get real.
No
This is why the
gingers.
film failed.
Wow.
I
That's
mean,
right.
I'm happy
Calling it.
that the professor said it, so that means it's true.
That's right.
Yeah.
Redheads and the nation of Ireland have spoken in unison, and they say no more to the Emoji Movie. So, Ken, your vote. Do you like the turd emoji, or do you like the spinning around the room with real Mr. Robinson?
I'm going to go real Mr. Robinson.
Real Mr. You're going spin around the room?
Just
Grace?
Yeah, me too. That was hilarious.
All right, I think it's going to be unanimous. Real Mr. Robinson is taking home a nice Blu-ray courtesy of that guy right over there who's currently on his phone.
I'm looking for. There's a pink hair and there's a blue hair, but there's no red hair.
No, you're looking for it right now?
Yeah, I was trying to.
Oh,
help
are you
Grace
doubting
out.
me, Copster? Trust me.
No,
I've looked.
I'm just trying to back you up.
There's
But yeah,
like
but
hieroglyphics.
okay, cool. Congratulations, you won the circle.
There you go. By the way, you need to look up the other read that we have, and then you're going to get to do it live because you've been so good today. You get to do that read.
Oh,
are you excited about it?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I literally just wrote it.
Yeah, good. Get excited about it because you're
excited.
going to be the one delivering it. In the meantime, we're going to move on to our main topic today, and we want to hear from you guys. So let's go ahead and get that phone number up there. Going to be talking about Stephen King movies, the best, the worst, the middling ones, the ones that are horror-based, the ones that are not horror-based, and all because The Dark Tower comes out in theaters this Friday. Christian is watching it right now. I believe a number of our Collider and Schmoes friends and family are over that screening, checking it out. I have high hopes for the movie. I enjoyed the trailers for what they were. And then, Riley, the snooze came out that the running time was only 90 minutes, and then everybody lost their shit. They're like, oh, there's no way you can do a good Stephen King adaptation to this massive mythology in 90 minutes. And I say you can. How do you feel?
Well, I think you can. I think what people were reacting to is that we have a series of books. We've heard it's a sequel to that series. So how can you do it so fast without hitting on all the mythology? I didn't really think two things about it at first. It was when a report came out about all the reshoots and maybe bring in another director. Maybe we should, we had to do $6 million in reshoots because the audience screenings, very, very bad because it was very confusing for the test screenings. That's when I put together the 95-minute runtime, I went, not good. Not
Okay,
good.
well, if I tell you that you can't go see The Dark Tower now because you poo-pooed it,
Yeah,
you're not allowed to go see The Dark Tower.
That's fine.
What Stephen King movie do you replace that with? What is your all-time favorite film that is based on, or TV show or whatever, that is based on Stephen King material? What are you going for?
I mean, I think the answer is Shawshank Redemption. However, I'm going to go Misery.
Damn you.
Yeah.
Come on, Riley.
What a great movie. Rob Reiner, we have an Oscar win for Kathy Bates, one of James Caan's greatest roles, and it's one of the most faithful adaptations I've seen of a Stephen King book, and that book is one of my favorites.
It is.
Cops just give me the okay sign.
It is a great book. It is my favorite. Yeah.
It is now, and again, when we're talking to you here on the panel or whatever, let me know if you've actually read any of these Stephen King books, because there's one Stephen King book that I attempted to read when I was a youth, and it was called The Stand, and didn't go. It's a
long book.
It's considered, I think, among a lot of his fans to be his opus. Like, it is his Lord of the Rings, basically.
I was enjoying myself fine, but then I had to,
it's
grow
a journey.
up. Yeah.
I never completed it either. I think I was the same. I started it, but then I got busy and I started reading something else because I just. It's a very long investment, kind of like it. I was talking to Wendy earlier. She's listening to the audiobook, and that thing's like 48 hours. And you really have to just dedicate some time to it. But back to Misery, it is very faithful to the original for the original book. There is one scene in the book that I wish they did. And spoilers, the movie's super
Is it
old.
Operation Hobbling?
Well, it's the way the sheriff is killed in the movie in comparison to how he's killed in the book.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could have done it how they did it in the book, but
Well, the Operation Hobbling is a worse thing that happens to the James Caan character.
It's worse in the book?
It's worse in the book.
It didn't look pleasant in the movie.
Yeah, it's pretty bad in the book. I don't know, spoilers? I should read the book.
Read the book. Yeah, read the book. Read.
Yeah.
I kind of want to know now. Can we put the spoiler alert up?
You want to know?
What happens? This is in the movie Misery, which is one of my favorite Stephen King movies as well. Yeah. There's that famous scene when Kathy Bates just proves that, hey, she's not just any fan, she's a crazy one.
Yeah.
Don't we have him in Schmoville? There's a few of you out there. You know who you are. She sets up like the wood blocks and she puts his two legs on either end of it to where the ankles and the feet are sticking out. And then she takes a little baseball bat and just like she's taking batting practice at Fenway Park, knocks them into the. Oh my God! How can that get worse in the book?
Well, take an axe and then take a propane flame, blowtorch, cut the leg off, and then cauterize it. Mm-hmm. That's what she does. Instead of the sledgehammer.
Thoughtful of her to cauterize it.
I was going to say,
infection.
As much as I want to get mad, she actually did him a solid.
No painkillers though. So Paul Sheldon, not a good day. Not a good day.
Yeah, that is that's really a rough way to go. I mean, Copster, while we're on this, is Misery your favorite Stephen King movie adaptation, or?
Misery is definitely the one. I'd like to talk about one.
We can get rid of the spoiler, Cody. Nobody's going to be spoiled by what Copster says is his favorite Stephen King movie. There's nobody that's like waiting for Copster to do his big reveal on the Wanger show this weekend, so we can go ahead and get rid of that.
I hate. All right.
What? I gave you so
and I appreciate that.
I literally just plugged your show, and you're giving me pushback.
It's like every morning.
Every single morning. I'm so grumpy. You throw 18 minutes. Oh, all these people are going to be on the show tonight. All right. So, I want to talk about The Mist because not a lot of people talk about The Mist.
That's my choice.
That's my choice.
It's based off a novella. A novella is like an in-between between a novel and a short story.
Mr. Hartwell taught me that.
Yeah. Did he? Oh, okay. Absolutely. I got that right. Cool.
You're welcome.
But yeah, no, it's a very faithful adaptation with the exception of the ending, which is very fascinating because Frank Darabont and he rewrote it as well, right? Yep. They came up with the ending, and even to Stephen King, he was like, "Oh, yeah, do it, go for it." Because in the novella, it leaves it open, very open-ended. You don't really know what happens. That's kind of the fun of the book. You kind of decide as a reader what happens to them beyond the mist. And in the movie, you get a clear-cut ending, and it's one of the most like heart-wrenching things. It is brutal, but it works
for a few minutes. Just kind of questioning.
But the great thing about this movie is that it almost works like an old-school classic monster film. Like it's almost trying to be campy. On purpose, and it really works like that, even down to the effects. So the effects don't really look that great, but I think they were working with the budget that they had, and it all works out really well. And I'm blanking on the actor's name who's in it.
Thomas Jane.
Thomas Jane. He is so good in this movie.
He's awesome.
You'll see a lot of the Walking Dead cast members that were going to be cast eventually in this movie sprinkled in there as well.
And
Sam Witwer. Right, yeah. Sam Witwer.
Yeah,
have you seen the black and white version?
No, but I want to. I know that
I've heard about that.
Yeah, it's so much better. Yeah, it just brings that kind of that B movie feel.
Absolutely.
The old the old 50s
Night of the Living
movies.
Dead, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the reasons the movie got shit on is because of the special effects, like you said. And that's not really the central focus of the film, though. Central focus, especially like when they're in the where the supermarket is the story of this woman played by Marcia Gay Harden,
Marcia Gay Harden.
going completely psychotic.
And
it's
how
a
monstrous
really,
humans can be.
Exactly. It's not about the monsters outside. It's about the monsters within us, which I thought was really cool. And the ending.
Whoa.
That was a good line.
Guys, we were the monsters all along.
I know, but I thought that was one of the really cool parts of the film, and I love the ending because like one of the main objections of a movie is to bring out emotion, and I don't think I felt so many emotions in a span of 4 minutes than I did when the end scroll came up, because that ending is so good.
Because you would think Stephen King wrote, because what King does so great in his books is that he likes to set you up to fall in love with characters, and then he'll pull the rug with underneath you and take that away from you. Like you'll make you fall in love with a character and then kill him off right away. And it's so surprising that he didn't come up. Maybe he thought of something like this, but it's just amazing that somebody else was like, "Hey, what if King did something like this?" And then they did it, and then even shocked the guy, the writer behind the actual thing itself. And it's just so fascinating, and I love it. It's so risky of them to do it. It really is.
And Thomas Jane was awesome. Like when he falls to his knees, you believe that this guy just killed his son.
I want to say it's still fresh. But I want to. Yeah, there might be a lot younger audience that hasn't seen the movie. I don't want to say it.
Copster and Jared, do you guys happen to have degrees from Houston Baptist University?
No, but I've already signed up for all 4 classes.
I hear
in the past 20 minutes.
I went on Rate My Professor. I heard the guy's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, he calls himself Dr. H. He's pretty cool.
I just got the best idea of all time. What if we literally all enrolled in Hartwell's class?
Oh, please do. That would be amazing.
Flight out there.
Yeah, he came there. We could put it on the collider down.
Yeah, we're taking private jets to Vegas now. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll have like little monitors on a few different desks that are your guys' Skype and monitors. It'll be fine. It'll work perfectly.
Oh my God, we really need to make the trip. Houston's not that bad of a drive. We could get the collider van. The Copster drove down to Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, you can pick up that van, right?
I drove a van once. I can drive trucks.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's fine.
All right. While we are talking about all these Stephen King movies, I'll tell you what we can do actually, because I want to get Ace's perspective on here as well. Ace is a big horror guy, so Ace, you're going to be called up to the big league, sitting next to Cal. He will not fight
on Cal if you want.
Cal. What was that?
Meantime, I want to get Grace's take on your all-time favorite Stephen King source material based work. This could be TV. I mean, most people are talking film, but television. However you want to interpret my question.
Yeah, I mean, for film, it was definitely going to be Misery, but Riley stole it.
Sorry, Grace.
I love it's okay. I mean, because I love crazy. I love crazy. I love that shit. That's totally kind of the roles that I want to play. Because I get typed a lot for I'm the fun cheerleader, and I'm like, no, I want to be crazy girl.
I saw your crazy eyes in one of the sketches you guys did for Awesome Tacular, and I was like, Grace plays crazy really well.
Aw, that's the nicest thing you've ever said. But no, but I also...
She's your best friend now, dude. Have fun with that.
Yeah, I'm like, me and Fincher.
If you don't see me, you know what happened to me.
But it's interesting because I'm such an avid reader. I'm literally that nerd girl. I go to the library 3 times a week, easily, every single week. And I have never read...
readers, God, you guys have to throw that word avid.
I read it in the book once.
Time you hear the word avid is tennis or reading. They just think they're better than us.
I'm a voracious reader.
I definitely do. No, but the thing is, I have not read Stephen King, but I also, it's kind of it reminds me though of Game of Thrones, because when I watch Game of Thrones, I'm like, this world is already so effed up. I'm terrified to get even further into the mind of George R.R. Martin, which is why I haven't read the Game of Thrones books. And I feel the way about Stephen King. I haven't read his books for that reason, because I'm like, this is pretty dark, and I live alone. I'm not rats
history buff?
Scary, but not that scary.
What about history? Like a history buff?
Yeah, no, I love that. So I'm sure I would like
11/22/63 is my favorite King
that
book.
was going to be that's my favorite television series.
Yeah, I've only seen the first episode, and I'm not crazy about it.
Oh, it's great.
To be honest with you. Because the book is fantastic. It's a book you might want to read.
I've heard.
It's very different Stephen King.
Anything that touches at all on the fringes of JFK or Marilyn Monroe, I'm in. I've seen all the documentaries. I've read all the things. I don't know why that whole conspiracy kind of thing just really bakes my noodle.
Okay, let's not throw the spoiler alert up here. But so let's not give it away how they interpret the events in 11/22/63. But I loved the show and then the way it ends up, because I kind of delve into JFK lore a little bit and the mythology and the conspiracy. I think that the Oswald involvement in that show is a little different than how I believe it went down in real life. How do you feel about?
I agree with that.
Okay. But you can enjoy it as like a fictional thing.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
because nobody actually went back in time, as far as we know.
Well, I mean, yeah, as far as we know.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we were even talking about this on TV Talk today about like just it's fun to have fiction that envisions a different take on how reality ended up. It's fascinating. It's great. And I really liked the series. It petered out a lot for me. I was like, oh yeah, and then like halfway in I was like, oh yeah, and then at the end I was like, but I still really liked it. Like
I cried at the end of the show.
I cried too,
Really?
but
Yeah.
I cry a lot.
It lost a lot of
Really?
the electricity for me over time.
You cried at the end of
11/22. Yeah, it got me.
I got a little emotional.
I get
mean,
very
nothing
emotional
like fell, but like my eyes were like like shiny. Yeah.
I wouldn't like that.
Well, Ace has joined us here on the cast. Now, Ace
doesn't cry.
Okay, I got two questions for you, Ace. Based on that, have you ever been moved to tears by a Stephen King work? And then what is your favorite one that we have not yet covered?
No, I don't think I have. I also have not read Stephen King, so...
Oh, you're not an avid reader?
I'm not an avid reader.
But are you a voracious reader?
That I am. No, I've obviously read like it's crazy to me thinking about the adaptations of like these thick ass novels into a movie, and it's funny how everyone's like the book is better. The book is better. I'm like the book is like 800 pages. Of course, it's gonna be better.
Time investment, yeah.
I obviously want to bring up the one that's kind of like the super classic Jack Nicholson, The Shining. That's kind of
boy, here we go.
super iconic, freaky movie that is very impactful, even in just general filmmaking.
Oh yeah, I mean the lessons that
phenomenal.
Kubrick implemented. I'm sure Chris could speak to that better than I can. But you have this guy who he's nothing more than an avid writer, and he just wants to come up with something original. He goes to the Overlook, and all this hell breaks loose. What's interesting about that movie, and particularly Kubrick's version of it, because there's been like the TV version with the guy from Wings and stuff, but that one from 1979. With Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall and Scatman Carruthers, is that Stephen King was not a fan of that version of
1980,
it.
sorry.
1983?
Really? 80.
Oh,
You're one year off.
80s. Yeah. Stephen King, not a fan of that. And it's like, dude, I mean, maybe you didn't love it, but I mean, people really responded to that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the Kubrick's, greatest movies. And that's the thing that kind of paves the way to different filmmakers to take inspiration from it, because he's definitely one of those inspiring filmmakers that a lot of people, try to imitate or try to take a lot of lessons from.
Yeah, The Shining is maybe the scariest one to me as an adult, because I stay in a lot of hotel rooms, and I'm telling you, man, there's something creepy that happens in a hotel overall between the hours of 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., which is usually when I'm going on my last ice run, because I'm an avid drinker. And when you just get lost in a hotel hallway, and you're just not, it's
and
like...
it all looks the same, and then suddenly you're panicking, and you're like a little tipsy, like, oh God.
It all looks like
I haven't
The
been there.
Shining to me.
I'm speaking. That's what I envision it would be like. Hypothetically, yeah.
There's a hotel. It's one of the most famous haunted hotels. It's up in, I think, in Edmonton. It's in Canada somewhere. I think it was where 1408 was based off of. I can't remember that, but I've been to it, and I cannot remember the name of it now.
Ooh, I want to go.
Fairmont, maybe? No. What am I talking about?
There's a couple famous hotels that are in America that are known for being haunted. One is in Oklahoma City, so much so that the New York Knicks and a bunch of other teams refuse to stay at that hotel when they come into town to play the Thunder, because they're so freaked out by what happened. There's another one in San Francisco, and I think that the Spurs were playing the Golden State Warriors, and Tim Duncan, who does not lie a lot.
He doesn't speak a lot either.
But he doesn't lie either, Ace.
Okay.
He heard a baby crying on the other side of a door.
No.
Bullshit.
He heard a baby cry.
How was it?
I was going to say,
what was the
on the other side?
Why would the greatest power forward in the history of the NBA lie about hearing a baby cry? And they've had a number of complaints about
maybe
haunting.
he did. Like maybe there was just a real baby
in the room next door.
Was it like the closet of his room where there shouldn't have been a baby?
I investigated the story further, and they went into the hotel room and did not find an infant.
So he heard specifically an infant crying in his own hotel room.
Yep.
And it couldn't have been maybe from the hallway, just bouncing up.
It's a ghost.
I mean, oh, great. I love haunted shit. I'll go stay there right now.
Isn't there a, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't there a film festival that does like, they show like horror movies and stuff? That
they did the Overlook
that
Fest.
one.
Just recently,
yeah.
the
Like
first
up north,
time
called
at the exterior location where they shot The Shining.
That's right.
There you
That's
go.
right. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
All right. Well, lest I tell more stories about NBA players being haunted by ghosts, we are going to take some of your live phone calls right after we get to our last Stardust reel, which does involve some horror movies, including the new It trailer and the Annabelle Creation trailer. Again, Stardust is a really fun app that is custom made for Schmoeville. You can download on iOS or Android, do your immediate reaction to a movie or TV show you loved, or in the Emoji Movie case, you hated, and then you can share with all of us on Facebook, Twitter, all that fun stuff. Do it today. Here's a clip.
I think I may just remain underneath these covers.
Makes the first Annabelle look like preschool playtime.
Wait to see this thing. I can't wait to just sit in the theater and hold on to my friends and family's arms.
Oh, hello, everyone. I figured for my first reaction, I should do it in Georgie's rain slicker alongside his little boat.
Now, the first trailer was trying to sell you on the kids. This trailer sells you on Pennywise the Clown.
I need someone to come and hold me and tell me that everything's gonna be okay.
Georgie is my favorite in these trailers. He is creepy as hell. Great job whoever cast him. Good luck to him going forward after this role.
It was mainly jump scares, but Pennywise looks freaky as hell. He looks more terrifying than me in the morning.
Anytime I see Under That Curb, though, I think of Josh McCouga popping up.
The only thing that was more freaky and terrifying was watching Josh McCouga react to this trailer.
There is that final scare at the end of the trailer that is not in the book. The clown room. Oh my gosh, what could it mean?
Dude, that is awesome because that is Classy Clark Wolf is in there too. She's up on Stardust now, so make sure you guys check out Clark Wolf on Stardust. Copster, a lot of good reactions, a lot of very scared, dare I say, Makuga-ish people.
Oh, yes.
In those reactions, who do you think takes the cake?
You know, I love me some Clark Wolf. She's the greatest, but
I don't think we're allowed to give her a prize.
I don't think we can, but you know, some people that we have met that I did see on there was one Late to the Party. And when she was late to the party, I really liked their reaction. They reacted good. They react good to a lot
they also bring us
avid reactors.
That's good.
Back around.
You and your highfalutin avid. I just don't like anything about that word. It's only 4 letters.
I'll see myself out.
It's my most hated 4-letter word. Please, no 4-letter words when you guys call in right now. We're going to be taking some live calls. And actually, you can say 4-letter words. Just avoid C-bombs, and we're good here. Let's do the first call. Hello, caller. You are in Schmoeville. What is your name? Where are you from? And what Stephen King property do you want to talk about tonight?
My name is Matt Kearns, and I'm from New York.
New York.
What up?
East Coast.
What up, Matt Kearns?
What's up?
Oh, is this Matt? Is this the Matthew Kearns? Matt, you're the guy. I met you at New York Comic Con, and you cosplayed as Mark Riley from the movie Trivia Schmoedown.
Yep, that was me.
Whoa. That's awesome.
Are you wearing the Superman jacket right now?
No, I'm not.
He's like, and nothing
else.
else.
It's a little too hot in New York right now, but trust me, I just walk around in it sometimes with the shades just to look cool.
Yeah.
With the Yogi shirt now.
So does Riley.
That's what I do.
You have somebody cosplay against it. That's pretty
great.
exciting.
No, I
so
know. I can retire
awesome.
now. My career is over.
Matthew Kearns, what Stephen King property do you want to talk about tonight?
Well, you guys talked about Ray, but I mean, Misery is one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life, because as someone who wants to be, a writer, just imagining like a crazy fan, and I promise, Mark, I'm not one of those. So
oh God, thank God.
I'm not gonna.
We're okay now. We're okay now.
But just imagining like meeting a fan and just.
Well, yeah,
and
it's scary because
I've
it's
never
possible.
read the book. I've never read the book, and hearing that and like the ending you guys said makes me never want to read the book ever.
I would thank you for the phone call, Matthew. I would say, as he's probably like staring at a wall of like Mark Riley, like paraphernalia.
I'm not a creeper.
No, I would actually encourage him to read Misery as well as watch it, because I think as a writer it might help you out. You know,
yeah.
I don't want to be a writer, so I don't have to read anything.
Well, and Matthew, I know I hung up on him, but you're still watching. Read his On Writing book. It's great. It's a love letter to his wife, but he also gives some tips on writing. It's a little narcissistic, but he's Stephen King. He's allowed to be.
All right, well, let's go on to
weirdest pitch ever.
Our next phone call, Coster. We have more people on the line. Hey, you're in Schmoeville. What is your name? Where are you from? And what Stephen King property do you want to talk about tonight?
This is Gail from Portland, Oregon, and I wanted to talk about The Green Mile.
All right. Portland,
Yeah.
Oregon. Big fan of the helium up there. So what is it about the Green Mile, the Tom Hanks vehicle, Michael Clark Duncan, that really gets you?
Well, it's just a really well done story. I think Tom Hanks is brilliant, and what's his name? Michael Duncan, I think.
Michael Clark Duncan.
R.I.P.
Yeah, Michael Clark Duncan. It's just really emotional, and even though it's super long, it's just really, really well done, and I just love it. It's not my favorite. Shawshank Redemption's my favorite, but Green Mile's good.
Wow, so you're a fan of prison movies. Are you currently incarcerated up there in Portland?
I try to avoid that as wherever possible.
I got to apologize. I used you for a joke to make RB3 laugh loud. And
It worked.
We're running short on the clock here, but I got one good RB3 chuckle tonight. That makes me happy. Thank you for the phone call. And again, she brings up the Green Mile, which is pretty well received, I believe, but nothing can compare to the Shawshank Redemption. And that's one of my favorites because I didn't see it until a couple of years ago. I was very, very late to the party with the Shawshank Redemption.
You're welcome.
It is so good. Don't even do the air horn, Beardo. I see you hitting buttons. It's too late. You had your shot. I think Shawshank Redemption is just one of the most fantastic movies I have ever witnessed in my life. I still think Forrest Gump is great. People always have to fight about this because they came out around the same time, and Forrest Gump won the Oscar that year. Forrest Gump's a great movie, but so is Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah. My favorite part of Shawshank, or one of my favorite parts, is the score. Thomas Newman.
Yes. Come on.
It really, like, I could fall asleep to it. It's just so peaceful. It's awesome. Love it.
Just don't know how you meet those people in prison who can just get things for you. You know, I don't fancy myself as that guy.
Yeah.
Who can
a go-getter?
Yeah, I'm not.
Get the McDonald's cheeseburgers.
I'm not a go-getter
Nice.
in prison.
I got that.
Yeah, I just gotta sit there in the corner and wait until Ken picks me up.
Probably learn about that.
All right, let's go to our next phone call. Hello, you are in Schmoville. Who do we got? What's your name? Where you're from? And what Stephen King property you want to talk about?
Oh, well, yeah. My name's Kyle. I'm from Oklahoma City.
Kyle from Oklahoma City. That's very interesting given our previous conversation. Do you know what hotel we were talking about?
I think it's called the Skirvin.
That sounds pretty scary.
Yeah.
That sounds shady.
I wouldn't go there.
I have Skirvin.
I'll need to go stay there at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, so what Stephen King property do you want to talk about tonight?
It actually is a movie, the miniseries. I saw it when I was very young, and it scared the shit out of me, honestly.
Oh yeah.
But in a good way, and so ever since then, anytime I want to feel that scared feeling, I always watch it again.
Nice. Yeah, thanks for the phone call. I love it,
Thanks, Kyle.
and I love the way that miniseries came. I mean, this movie coming out, Chris, has a tall order to top that miniseries because with that, we got both the kids and then them as adults, which I thought was a really cool getting to see that progression, and it's like a 4-hour-long miniseries. The movie is just focusing them on its kids. Is it going to be as impactful?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like the director is wanting to do this is part 1, and he's going to give us a part 2 with the adults.
Duology is what
Absolutely correct. Yeah.
Totally, and we've been talking about adaptations a lot today and just how to do that. And I don't think there is a right or wrong way to do adaptations, but I think sometimes actually taking the time to actually split something into 2 so you can really take the time to focus on the appropriate important parts of a novel, I think is cool. So hopefully, this first chapter is really chilling, really effective, and actually can earn us the right to get us that second part, because if that would be the case, getting those 2 solid parts would be pretty outstanding.
That's right. Jared, I haven't gotten your take on the It trailers yet. Is this movie, is this going to be something that really scares? Are you a guy that gets scared easily, and is Pennywise going to be the one that does it?
Get scared easily. I mean, I get scared. Everybody gets scared.
Rhode
right?
Island's got some folklore. You got some witchcraft going on up there way back to the 1600s.
Oh, yeah. I go up to Salem every year, Halloween.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah, of course. They have like, it's like all of a show now, but they do the Salem witch trials.
They burn witches every year.
I don't want to say they, redo it, but no, the trailers, I like I just want it to be creepy and, like you said, effective. And I'm a little nervous because the last trailer I watched I felt like had a lot of jump scares.
Yeah.
And that scares me a little bit because I don't want this to be a jump scare movie. I want it to be creepy.
Here's the thing: every single time that they show more with this trailer, I get less and less interested in it.
That's the thing.
The more that I see Pennywise, the more that I see these. It's like I've seen it now.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's true of all trailers. Just
But
they keep
horror
giving too
films
much.
especially, because if you're wanting those things to be effective and creepy and build into them, but you're kind of just using them already, I feel like you're throwing away some good, intense.
I thought
scares.
that last trailer was awesome.
Yeah,
That's one
I
of my
did too.
favorite trailers of the year already.
Me too.
I just kept rewatching it. I love how they synced up the sound from "You'll Float Too," and it almost sounds like a chant.
Really cool.
You'll float too.
I did like that.
That was so intense, and that trailer to me was amazing.
I was just thinking about all the kids like running behind Rocky and Rocky 2. Chanting "You'll Float."
Yeah,
too.
it sounded like a
champ.
chant, like in a stadium. That's what I mentioned on Twitter. I was like, it sounds like "You'll Float Too," and everyone's cheering it, and you're like, this is so creepy.
And Pennywise looks very serious. Like I remember watching the original miniseries as a kid, and I remember Tim Curry. He was very scary, but he was also campy, if that's the right word.
He could have done gigs on the side as a real clown if he so chose.
Just I remember it like as I've watched it older. He was also kind of funny. And made some dark jokes. And I'm curious to see what Pennywise is going to be like in this movie, if he's just going to be a very serious killer.
I think he's literally too busy eating babies. He's an avid baby eater, this new Pennywise. Cops, do we have time for one more phone call before we close it up here on the...
We got either on.
Show. All right. Hello, you are in Schmoville, and you are our last caller of the night. What is your name? Where do you hail from?
This is Matt, also from New York.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. Is this the same Matt, or is this a different huge fan of Mark Riley?
Different Matt, although I think Matt Kearns and I may have grown up in the same town. I think we've had some
wow. Schmoes Know. Bringing friends together.
Well, Matt's running packs. So what did you want to talk about tonight on the show, Matt?
Well, it's kind of the general question I've always thought about Stephen King's novels/movies. The line between, I guess, psychological thriller versus supernatural. Like Children of the Corn, for instance. I love the 90% of that movie until the end when it takes a supernatural turn. And same with the difference between, I guess, the Shining movie versus the Shining book. The book is much more supernatural than the movie actually is. I was wondering what you guys' thoughts on supernatural versus, like, humans being the villains.
Damn, man. We got to have more Matt from New York calling in. That's a hell of a quote. Hartwell just got fired from Houston Baptist University because Matt from New York
take over for me.
is the new professor. He may not be the cool, relatable professor that you are, but this guy's dropping some serious knowledge.
Because that sounds pretty cool.
The movie I was going to talk about before we get out of here really quick is Pet Sematary, because Pet Sematary had such a psychological effect on me as a really little kid. Me and my sister, we talked my aunt into taking us to see it because she was babysitting us, and she didn't know that my mom or my dad, she was a lot younger than my mom, so she didn't she's just kind of like a kid herself, taking us to go see it. And my parents were out, and we're like, no, they're fine with us going to see this movie. I was like 7. So we go, and I'm just seeing it, and as scary as the supernatural elements of, like, burying a pet and it coming back to life, and church ain't the same church that we know and love, it's the psychological effect of the wife who has this thing in her past with Zelda, her sister, who was going to twist her spine, and we keep having these unnecessary flashbacks, so they may be in the narrative. But my God, I was as scared as Tim Duncan in a Northern California hotel room. That's how bad it is.
Sports.
And so Pet Sematary is going to be mine. I don't have to say sports every time I bring up sports.
That was the first time I said sports.
Yeah, but you do it a lot around the office. And
do
it's
I?
like people around the office are going to be talking about sports a
No,
lot.
I only want to talk Star Wars and comic book movies. That's all I want to talk about.
Copster's an avid arguer. So as we close up shop here on the Schmoes Know Live show number 2 side, we're careening towards number
294.
294. Mm-hmm. So we got a few. What are we doing for 300, Ken? Do we have any?
I don't produce this shit anymore.
Calling it quits.
Cops, are we doing?
Reenact the Battle of Thermopylae.
Peace.
We're gonna go dark for that episode.
You know what would be a pretty good 300th episode?
Talk about 300
live. From Houston Baptist. Schmoes crew comes to crash. Professor Hartwell.
Please. Oh, that would be the most amazing thing ever. I don't think my students would ever be the same. But, I probably would let them down after that. Like, no class would be as cool as that one. But, yeah, let's do it.
When's first day of class for you guys, man?
First day of class is the 29th.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm furiously
August?
writing lessons plans. And, yeah.
Oh, man. What's coming up?
I like how you asked that, Ace. Can you, because you sounded like some sort of ruffian in his class. What's the first day of class, man?
Yeah, I'm going to be there. First day. First student there.
Yeah. Now, Chris, you get somebody like this who's just a tough kid. He doesn't know that he wants to be a filmmaker. He doesn't know he has that inside him. Are you going to dangerous minds?
Oh, I'm going to draw it out. That's my job,
Good, man.
Bring out the pearls.
We like to give you a lot of fun here, but also, man, congratulations on the new gig.
That's
you
awesome.
are teaching the kids right in the world of cinema and artistry. Where can everybody find you as we say goodnight to the kiddies here tonight?
definitely, you guys can find me on Twitter as well as on YouTube. Simply search Chris Hartwell. And just to all of you guys, thank you so much for all the interaction. I mean, this crew here has been lovely. I haven't known you guys long enough. It just breaks my heart that I just started to head up here every once in a while and get to interact with you guys, because this has been a huge blessing. And honestly, I'm not even joking about this. Part of the reason that I got this gig is because of guys like you who sharpened me, who pushed me. And so when I got into the process of talking about why I should have this gig, I felt really prepared to actually to defend myself. So sincerely, thank you to all of you, and thank you to all of you guys.
I can read between the lines. If you can hang with us dummies for 2 hours, then any college dean is going to say, yeah, I think Hartwell's fine with our students. You can handle the schmoes for a little bit. Yeah. You can tackle any problem. I also want to thank Jared Haben for hanging out with us. Where can when do you make the decision whether you're moving to LA or not, and what does that entail? How can we sway you?
Probably like within the next couple months. So I've been looking at subletting already, and so I have a lot of friends out here that have been helping me along the way, and so probably sooner rather than later.
I don't like how professional you're handling this move.
I'm
Mostly,
very PR.
You get. I want you to have like a VW Bug. I want that to break
Driving
down.
cross country in my VW Bug.
That's what I want to
Lots
see,
of
man.
dreams.
It's like a
God, that would
Stephen
make the
King
dream
coming
right
of
there.
age tale. Stand by Me. We didn't do Stand by Me.
Stand by
That's my bad. Where can everybody check you out in the meantime?
On Twitter, Haben_Jared, and on Instagram, Jared Haben.
All right, we go over to the Wanger table. Copster, I told you would get to do the last ad read of the night. Are you ready?
I am ready, sir. This show is brought to you by our good friends at Loot Crate. Loot Crate, the great subscription service where you get a bunch of cool stuff in a small little crate. It's a lot of loot in a crate. And this month, for August, it is Kingdom, which features many great favorites such as Lord of the Rings, Adventure Time, and The Legend of Zelda. So be sure to check out our good friends at Loot Crate. We're good friends with them. They're friends with us. Check out the link in the description to get a nice little discount. Back to you.
Yeah, you had a pretty good one there. You tried to out catchphrase me? I do the new box of really cool stuff every month, and you're trying to a lot of loot.
I'm following. I'm in the shadow of greats right now. Okay, I'm just trying to do my best.
He's an avid shadow.
Well, you have a Wanger shadow there behind you. So why don't you give everybody all their Twitter handles in case any of the Matts in New York that called in tonight want to follow them.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Copster15, at Schmoes Beardo, at the real Cody Hall, at Squad Leader Ace, which he's over there. Good job, dude. And then also to RB3 Schmoes. That's right. And thanks to our big friend Max over here for monitoring the chat for all you trolls out there. Thank you so much, Max. And check out the Wanger Show every single Wednesday.
Rock on, Ace.
Yeah, Squad Leader Ace. I'm sorry, Copster said it, so I was like, why
no, that's on me. That's on me. That's not on you. I literally said Ace, and you just gave me the thumbs up.
Am I okay? Did I do everything okay?
No, that was drive a truck through that pause.
Ace, you know what? Boom. There you go. You can be my wingman anytime.
Thank you, brother.
All right, Mark Riley, where can everybody find out you, and more importantly, Cal?
You can find me at Riley Around, and hey, at Cal the Schmo Dog on Twitter.
At Cal the Schmo Dog is a real
It's a real fucking Twitter handle for my dog.
It's a whole thing.
It happened.
You want to bet Matthew Kearns is the guy who started it?
I'm still, I don't think it's Matt Kearns, though.
All right, we are going to be at New York Comic Con, so looking forward to seeing all you guys out there as well. Ken Knapsack.
Hey, you can follow me at Ken Knapsack. I was going to talk about Stand By Me, Snelling. I'm kidding. I've never seen it.
And last but not least, Grace Hancock, thank you for joining us as well. Where can everybody find you? And then your favorite Stephen King property that people have not yet talked about tonight.
Everything got touched on.
You're not a Christine kind of person, or I bet you don't watch Cujo.
I have not watched Cujo.
Yeah,
but I did read that he said he was drunk the whole time he wrote that. So I'll maybe check it out just based on that alone.
Yeah, well, speaking of drunk, where can we find you?
Speaking of drunk, you can find me sober and reading all my fun library books everywhere online at Mrs. Graceface.
And TV Talk.
And TV Talk, that's right. New gig.
Come on.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. And you can, we're TV Talk is live every single day, every single weekday on Collider Video at 11 a.m. And you can see me there every day but Monday.
You guys can find me scared out of my mind at some Charlotte hotel room at 3 a.m. in the morning because I heard a knock at the door and nobody's on the other side. And there's babies crying and they're not mine. I'll be at the Comedy Zone this weekend in Charlotte, North Carolina. Looking forward to seeing all your smiling faces there. Until next time, and for Christian Harloff, my name is merely Mark Ellis. We are the Schmoes. Peace out, Mother Fs.